I think I'm situated now. Peace, peace. Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Family.
Peace, bro. All right, so does anybody have any anything to say, any statements, any questions to kick it off with? Anybody have any situations
I actually got a question.
they're going through right now? They want to bring to the table.
Yeah, I actually got a question.
Okay. Okay, I'm listening.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought someone else was speaking. So, I finally got everything I need to send that packet off. And in the video, I don't think you give an address
Which package is that?
for the SPC packet with the chargeback and everything else.
People that I know that
Let me mute everybody real quick. Who is that talking?
I'm trying to
It's
see
very,
individual income comes that type of stuff. This opportunity right here.
That's Veronica. Okay, so whoever that was talking, go ahead and unmute yourself.
yeah.
Okay. Now you say the SPC package.
Yes, sir.
Where did you get that from?
From the oh my gosh, from the I can't remember the name of that manual, the book that we was doing last time.
Talking about the redemption manual. That secure party creditor book.
Yes, sir.
The redemption manual. Okay.
Yes, sir.
You know, they give the addresses. They're in there.
And all right. I was just making sure I didn't miss something.
It's definitely in there. You know, but I don't know if you're aware. You know, we really don't entertain a lot of processes.
Okay. Well. Okay.
Especially when it comes to that last part that you're talking about.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, any far as the directions and addresses sent to the, I do know that they have all the addresses inside the book.
Straight AMPC and that's it, or what?
Huh?
I said we doing straight AMPC or what?
That's a personal decision. You know, I'm just telling you what I don't do, what I do. You know. But know that it's two different processes.
Okay. Yeah, I understand that, but I want to do both of them. But at the same time, I want to do whichever one. You know, I'm kind of like in a follow the leader type status. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm asking you.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say I would do both of them. I would, because until you understand the significant difference between the two, because you don't want to put yourself in a situation where you mix and matching things that don't mix.
Okay, I understand the difference, but I want you know, planted the seed. So I want my trees to grow like everybody else's trees is growing. So, you know what I mean?
Okay, well, it's a certain way I plant my seed. So if you want to know how I do it, I'll tell you.
Well, I'm all ears, sir.
Oh, okay. Because there's a lot of information out there. It's like if it's a million people in the world, many people gonna choose to do things differently. You know, so I can never tell somebody what they should do, unless
Yeah,
they ask
yeah.
a question as it pertains. If you say what I would do based on your situation, I would tell
Yes,
you
sir.
my opinion. But still at the same time, everybody's plant is gonna grow differently because we all have different plants, harvesting different seeds. So, but I'm just telling you our personal experience. And first off, a lot of that information is out of date.
Word, word.
If I had somebody, uh, that's not to say I wouldn't have, especially if somebody just starting, like in the beginning stages. I still would direct them to those particular manuals, you know, the redemption manual, cracking the code, and all those other demos as a starting foundation to have a generalized understanding of some of the history, so on and so forth, and some of the generalized contracts that it comes with. But other than that, building the foundation off the information, my strategy would be different. Well, my strategy
Okay.
is different because of the way processes have changed, and just
Mhm.
a lot of different things are changing right now. You know.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Well, I'm trying to be on your type of time. So if you say X-nay on the Ushane, then that's what I'm doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. At the same time, I don't want to really say that. I'm saying it depends on where if you feel like if you still in your area of just testing the waters, just educating yourself and trying to understand a lot of the generalized information and history, then that's all good.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
Because basically you want to put yourself in a position where you're able to competently compare and contrast information and get to the point where you know where it applies to in your life.
Right. Right. I can dig it. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
I got a quick question, bro.
Yeah.
We spoke on this before, for educational purposes only. Uh, when I'm in the stage at the banking, and the bankers separate themselves from the state in a heartbeat. So concerning that, the ID, would it be wise for me to, when they want to acquire the Social Security number, because it always start with that, dealing with the banking institution, because they know what's up. But starting with that, would it be wise to just go ahead and use my 98 number? Because I know I did get it the correct way. All my numbers match. It had no attachment to me when I first got it. But would that be wise to use that to get away from when you get to the actual Social Security number? Because, when you're dealing with the trustee, say you're the trustee, the bank want to know, where the trust comes from, as far as how they be doing business. So would that be wise to use my 98 number? I know we always talked about it. I'm just saying now
Wait.
that we're actually using
Okay.
the
Wait.
process.
Are you talking about? Are you talking about in reference to like what type of account are you talking about setting up?
Said just I'm setting up my business, unincorporated business account, trust account, whatever.
Okay.
Because I know it really it matters, but it don't matter. The key is to actually get an account without you having the liability over it. Correct.
Right. And we know the
Yep.
liability comes with the benefits as well as the privileges that
Exactly.
come with utilizing the Social Security number.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
okay, this what we figured out that whether we open up a regular corporate account or for most of us are real eager about opening up our trust accounts now. And the reason why we was kind of real tight on the whole process on that. Some people was getting a lot of brick walls and stuff like road bumps down the line is because we was trying not to show proof of a state contract. So we was trying not to show proof of a driver's license, a state ID, and a Social Security card. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, and then but people are gaining success and opening up accounts doing that, but it makes it like 5 to 10 times more difficult to
Yeah.
establish. And then we had certain cases where certain places let people open up the accounts with no social, with no state, no traditional corporate state IDs, and then they would just use the IDPs and the the American National ID card and with the trust documents, and it was all good. But some areas would have it where they would do, I guess, some type of screening, like yearly screening, where they'll screen the accounts. I guess they were trying to figure out which accounts don't have social security numbers attached to it or whatever. So they'll come and they'll request for the person to reveal the social. But what we've some information that we got from a bank. Us know how sometimes you go through certain situations and experience and you realize that they just told on themselves.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what happened. So we had a guy that he had a trust account. He opened it up and something happened. I don't know if somebody was trying to garnish his wages or something, but basically the bank stopped it. I think the guy had contacted them to make sure the social wasn't on there or something like that. And they end up, the bank manager or something end up like thanking them, like, and praising them, like we glad that you contacted us to make sure that social security number wasn't attached to that account, because what would have happened is that we all know that the banks are insured, right? So what happens is when we establish these especially these trust accounts, when a person establishes a trust, the main point of having a trust is to protect assets, right?
Exactly.
So if we're going to do business with a bank, we're allowing this bank to help hold our assets and hold our money, it'll be a breach in their contract and agreement and the Security and Privacy Act of our information for them to allow or disclose our personal information, whether it's a social security number and a driver's license that ties to a social security number, anything of that nature that allows somebody to leverage to come in and attack that account. So basically, that us finding that out tells us, like, okay, what they're doing is they're requesting to see the a social security card or a driver's license or a state ID, but like they're not really lying when they say they're trying to verify identity and make sure you're not a terrorist and XYZ. They're just screening the person's identity to make sure they are who they say they are within their system, whatever. But they're not supposed to keep that information attached to that trust account, basically. They're not supposed to keep that social attached. So what I did was actually me and Notary just put together a nine. So this is what we're gonna do. So imagine we go up in the bank with our trust documents. We got declaration of trust, our minutes, and our trustee forms, and et cetera, et cetera. W8. So now we walk up in there. We're gonna have another document that we draft up called we can call it like a non-disclosure. Sorry, what's that? What do we call that? A non-disclosure? It's just a regular non-disclosure, right?
Non-disclosure agreement.
What was it? Something else on the title?
Not yet. No.
It's just basically so they can't disclose the social security number, anything attached to this account.
Yeah, it's a non-disclosure, and basically what I added in there is all the statutes and codes and stuff that back up that that as far as a company or corporation agency not having the right to force a person to disclose that particular information. And also what the non-disclosure agreement is doing is the tactic that we're going to use when we're going to the bank with this non-disclosure agreement is that we're going to ask that the bank's notary notarizes that document for us. So in essence, they sign off on it, right?
Yeah. So
we coming in with the non-disclosure, and it's gonna have our name on it, and the bank and it's gonna specifically say that bank that I and Bank of America will not disclose my personal social security number or a driver's license number, blah 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 blah. If so, it will be such and such penalties of such and such amount, see fee schedule, whatever. But we're not gonna have this conversation with them like we going back and forth. So all we can do is have their notary sign it. And we're gonna have that for our records, and we can put it on the record. So from there, if something happened down the line, and we can always check back in after we establish the account to make sure that social is not attached to that. But if anything happens down the line, now you got a lawsuit. So
I
that now,
got you.
so that non-disclosure will act as your insurance to reinsure that if something happens and you can sue and get a return on your money.
This, because what reason why I was saying that, but I totally feel you. But I'm understanding, because I done went to a bunch of banks and I only did it for me just to gain information on different perspectives from different banks. And I know it's all coming down to social security number, but one way they can wiggle out of it is, period, they have the right to refuse business.
They
And
do.
it's seeming like anything extra outside of their lines, first thing they're gonna tell you is we gotta send it up to the main office, and they're gonna do their little thing. But it seemed like it's just coming down to the social security number. So I'm just thinking, if you're already giving them this non-domestic social security number, for you, if you set it up correctly, it's still a 9-digit number, so it could be used as a social security number, even though it's an EIN number. But since I made myself a corporate entity, you know what I'm saying, it should be able to be used
Well,
as a social security number.
well,
Just a question, I'm just playing devil's advocate.
yeah, we can go in there. We can try to go up in there with a CPN. We can try to do it, but actually, in all actuality, though, that's when we pull in the non-discrimination act, because it's actually discriminating against a person for refusing to give services because the person would not like to disclose their personal information. So we can have that drafted inside of our non-disclosure agreement. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
but then that, they it's funny, man, because they gon' hear all that, but it's gonna come down to they'll say no, and what you gonna do about it. And
True.
most
That's
of us
that's
don't know.
why it depends on how you want to play it. My thing is
Yeah,
this: I play the game. I pretend like I'm playing the game like they want me to. See,
yeah,
see, at the end of the day, it's all about the agreements, what can be proven on black and white. So
exactly.
so no matter what they try to do on the back end, I'm gonna have a signed agreement by one of their officials saying that they wouldn't disclose this information. And if they did, I can charge them X amount of dollars based on my fee schedule. So that's all I'm worried about.
I feel you. What would be the explanation for the disclosure agreement for you to get the bank to notarize it? Because even when they doing a notary, they gonna kind of see the title. They gonna look at the title, and I know they don't read it, but they just make sure the signature is on it. But make sure a signature is on it, and whatnot. But if they see their name on the document, you think that'll raise a red flag. You know what I'm saying? Because you're gonna have to put their name on there. I'm not saying it won't work at all. You know how we do it, that devil's advocate. Just
Yeah.
bounce it off, just to give, just so you could be ready if you did go in there. You know what I'm saying? Because they love to catch you up on questions, unorthodox questions. Just to see where you at.
I already know. Like so that the spot for the bank will be blank. The bank will be
So
blank.
right in later. I feel you. Okay, that's
You know
enough of
what I'm
that.
saying?
That's enough of that. Yeah,
So
yeah. I feel you. I feel
what I'm saying is we gonna be
you.
able to
Yeah,
we're gonna be able to walk out with their signature and get
yeah.
right on that.
I
We're gonna
got
be able
you.
to
And And I asked that. It was funny because I told you I was dealing with my house and all that, and I had a small victory, so they had to cut me a check. And when I tried to go cash the check, it was so funny because I leave the courthouse with my check. I look on the check to see what bank I got to go get it cashed at, right? Because I wasn't about to go in my bank because I didn't want, since I learned everything, I'm like, nah, you ain't about to have this liability on me because it's over a certain amount. They gotta do these extra forms. Well, anyway, they wouldn't let me cash it because I had my IDP. And then I'm like, I went to the whole spiel, gracefully, not argumentative, but just in asking. And they was like, well, the state ain't got nothing to do with our commerce. You know what I'm saying? You have to have a state ID or passport and I'm like, well, I got this. I mean, I went all the way up to the head, to the manager over those 4 districts of those banks. It was crazy. But anyway, long story short, the bank that I was currently suing is the same bank that the court uses to hold the money in trust, which was crazy. So, but I ended up going out to another facility. I did have to go reinstate my license, but I know how to sign a contract now. So I did that and brought that to them. But what they forgot to get was a social security number. So this dude been calling me for like 2 weeks because he cashed everything but didn't get no information from me.
You need that social. You need that.
Yeah.
So
And
look,
I'm like, you think I'm gonna come back so you can put that tax on me? Nah, you just messed up. Go ahead and write that off.
look. Remember this too. It don't see. A lot of the worries don't matter because we know how to go on the contract. So on top
Exactly.
of our slick non-disclosure we're gonna have on for that particular account, we gonna remember when we sign off on those papers for that signature card. That's one of the most important things.
Exactly.
What,
Yeah.
sign that name and what we putting at the end of it. UCC
UCC
1-308.
1-308.
That is gonna exempt everything. That
Yeah.
right there is gonna secure everything. If we didn't do the non-disclosure, because we just reserved our rights in the contract.
Hey, and it's real talk because I just did some stuff with my pops, you know, just messing around with the contracts and because he had just got a truck or whatnot, and it was after 4 months or after 3 months, you know, after 90 days, it's a debt. So we did the whole spiel. Long story short, we had him so shook they end up redoing his contract, giving him a brand new truck under the same payments as his old one. But I'm knowing now that they know what's up. So when he went in to sign all the paperwork, I had him do that UCC 1-308 on every one of his contracts. And
Yeah.
now in 3 months, I'm gonna hit him again. And since now he done reserved his right, now you actually have standing, you know, to go into court. Since I know how to sue now.
We got to take control over. We got to take control over the contract immediately. In that first 72-hour period after we establish that account, we go up in there, we set it up in the correct way. We do the non-disclosure. That's icing on the cake. So now we sign off on the signature card. We reserve our rights in that signature for the UCC 1-308. Now when we go to the crib, we put a lien on that joint with the UCC. So now we take possession of the property on the commercial side. What they gonna do?
That's real talk. They can't do nothing. It's just commerce.
Have them send acknowledgement to that bank's corporate headquarters. What they gonna do?
Mad. That's all they could be is mad.
They ever come against something that's gonna be they ain't got no standing because you did it. You did it in the gate. That's what I'm trying to stress to people. Like if you make these type of moves immediately, like in the beginning before the problem even exists, man, they have no stand. They just silence.
For real.
It's all about eliminating problems before they happen.
Yeah, because you just want to get standing. That's the whole thing. In court, they bum rushing people because you don't have proper standing. But once you put yourself in that position and they know you know what you're talking about, man, they start running. I done had these folks, and I done found out Missouri one of the hardest states for any of this. You know, especially with you separating yourself from the corporate entity and putting yourself back on the land. They don't like that, but they do know jurisdiction. If you know what you're talking about, they ain't gonna mess with you. It just ain't worth it.
Definitely. We got to identify these agencies too. Some of them operating in a way that we can't even imagine.
Man, I got a record from them saying, because I went to the administrative hearing board, because you know I was you know figuring out who owned the judge and who's over that department, and because I was doing my administrative procedure remedy, and I had to look at the administrative hearing board, which every state has one that delegates and rules over the court procedures. They sent me a letter telling them, shoot, they ain't got nothing to do with the federal. They just a creature of statute.
Look, because we automatically think these main agencies, they federal agencies, right? Like for instance, the Uniform Commercial Code Division, right? We assume that's a federal agency.
Nah, that ain't federal.
They say, but then we also assume that they're a part of Washington or a part of that state.
And they're not. Yeah.
You know the funniest thing is like when you, because one of my buddies be calling messing with people and stuff all the time, so we be having this stuff recorded. It'd be hilarious. When you go back and listen to the tape, you see where they messed up and said too much. It's like they say, because I'm like, okay, you say Washington State Uniform, where we do all our filings at, right?
Yeah.
So we would think that they up under Washington or Washington's rules, regulations, and statutes and stuff like that. but you ask them like, no, we're not. They like, no, we're Washington State
Yeah.
Commercial Code Department. So you're not part of Washington. So you're not Washington State. No, we're Washington State uniform. I'm like, so is that? So you saying, so you're a foreign entity, you're a foreign agency? No, we're Washington State. I'm like, oh wait, okay. So are you telling me without telling me that you just then she kept on reflecting, expressing that we're not a corporation, sir.
Exactly.
We're not a corporation. We're not an agency. We're not a federally. We're not. I'm like, what are you? We're Washington State. Blah,
It's
blah,
the state.
I'm like, so that means that's like me saying like. So that means they picked the state called Washington, and they happen just to name themselves after the state. So we're assuming
Exactly.
state.
Exactly.
So they put this Washington State. So now we need to figure out what is Washington, what is Washington State, and what is the state of Washington.
The state, exactly. That's what they playing. They juggling, and then they'll pass it off to each other. You know what I'm saying? Well, you gotta look at this department. Well, this department ain't connected to this department, but this department is supposed to answer to this department. You like, come on, man. I've been called, and then they love saying this. Well, we can't give out legal advice. This ain't no legal advice.
They always say that.
It's fun though. It's fun once you know what you're doing.
And you can really hear what's the unspoken.
Yeah, for real.
The unspoken. They tell a lot. Because we was calling my guy. He was calling in about. Don't you know how when you do the UCC filing at Washington State, how sometimes your damn collateral don't attach right. How that shit disappeared. And I tell people how to. I think I mastered how to get that, bypass that little glitch. You got to copy whatever.
Yeah, copy and paste.
You got to paste it in there and attach the PDF. And it in the You know what I'm saying? But what we were saying, it was like, okay, if you have an online portal, which is a service to the people, and you charge an X amount of dollars for these attachments and for that extension, it needs to work. It's not where you got to repay. Saying you gotta repay the filing fee to redo it again in hopes that it works this time. Like how y'all function like this? Because what's guaranteed is for sure. What's for sure is that if y'all really want, y'all know it's a problem. And two, if y'all wanted to fix the problem, y'all damn sure could get the problem fixed. But they love making things, allowing things that have these glitches and stuff like that. All just the system. Yeah. Like, it depends. It's all about if you format the PDF correctly. Well, what is the stipulations? What are the guidelines to structure the PDF in a proper way so that the system can accept it? Well, it all depends on how the system feels. Well, but he was also the system has feelings now.
Like it's thinking on its own now is what you said.
Yes, these are the rebuttals that the ladies giving him, but they see people start working for these agencies and these corps. It's like, and they become a corpse. Just a dead body operating as a machine. You know, that's it. You saying something to me that don't even make sense. You expected me to do something that you wouldn't even do. Why would you go back and pay for some stuff you don't, but you don't know you're gonna get the product or the service? You know what I'm saying? Like stuff
real
like
tough.
That. You start having multiple liens. Some of the filings we be doing be having 6 to 10 debtors on it. That filing might be like $98.
Yeah.
I don't need no mistakes.
Boy, man, and they done up these prices at the county recorder. I know I spent at least $400 with my executive letters. You know, when we first started, the executive letters, the filings, declarations, and you know, everything, man. I put some of everything on that file, and I see now they upping the price on it. If ain't in proper format, they can hit you for $50, and then $3 or $4 per page, and you like, man, come on, what is this? I just did this last week. Well, the policy changed. Oh, okay, I got you.
I recommend people get their shit filed ASAP. Get everything you need to get filed. Get
Real
it out.
talk.
Everybody need to get their notaries. I keep saying it.
Yep.
Without the social.
Yep.
Because I already see in Indiana they switching stuff up. They making it different. I went in and got in no problem.
Yeah,
It up. They're like, who is this guy?
for real.
What we gotta
Hey,
do.
they unsuspended my license, bro. That's how you know this system is so retarded. I start hitting them with them private letters.
See, I just redid my injunction too. See,
For
the injunction that secret weapon. That's that order to stop. You know what I'm saying? So think about this. When we doing the injunction, it's just like we gotta identify what processes that we need to do, like have like a renewal process. Think about this. All they main contracts besides the social, once it's issued, it's issued. But every contract, all the main contracts tied to that social, they always have like a 4-year renewal. Like every 4 years, they want you to renew your driver's license, your state ID.
yeah,
So, and then remember, we be having different executors in these that's holding seats in these offices, different presidents.
yeah,
So I mean, so the person you sent it, if you sent your shit to Obama, Trump is in office now. He didn't get that notice. You know
yeah,
the game has changed because the player didn't change. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Or
yeah,
something in the midst of the contract could have changed or altered, could make yours, that last presentment you sent, null and void. You know what I'm saying? So you got
yeah,
you need to renew. So I'm renewing my injunction to for Secretary of State and the state I was born in, the state I live in, and also the Secretary of Transportation. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So those are 2 people. I'm gonna have a 4-year renewal process. So every 4 years you're gonna get an update on my standard.
Yeah, I'm sending it to you. That's how you got to
I
do.
don't want you to assume you don't know because you wasn't here at the time.
Yeah, I got you.
You're gonna get the copy of the return receipt from the signature of the last guy that was in your seat. That he
Yeah,
received. So I think we got to keep in mind that. So I don't think a lot of things, once you do it, it's just infinitely just done on certain things, especially that traffic stuff.
yeah, yeah,
Secretary of State, Secretary of Transportation is always be updated because they
yeah.
always update their system.
I feel you. See, I'd have got cool with my we got a Chief Forte is the head sheriff in our town, and I'm cool with his deputy. So we like on good terms. I'm building a relationship with them because they know they're the ultimate power. So what I did is I got smart like 3 or 4 months ago. I sent contracts to everybody on how I needed them to treat me in the public. Everybody. The only person that sent me back something saying I don't have a valid claim was the Treasury, or I think it was like the Treasury Department of my state. But I know they smart. I know they didn't want me to have no open claim, to be able to put on them. But everybody else, I got my green cards on them. And, after so many days, it's a contract. So now if I have to go into court with anything, I bring that contract. Everybody got notice. District attorney, governor, sheriffs, police department, all the fire department. Man, I send it everybody. So can't nobody say, because, everything in court comes down to the contract. I don't care what nobody talking about. They want to know what contract you got and how we're going to adjudicate off this contract, period. And if you got one already that they acquiesce to, now they got to answer questions. It ain't like a cut and dry, it's over because I got that in. It's just now I have standing to even argue, argue for, not even argue. It's just I have standing to ask questions. And that's what they don't want. They don't want you asking questions.
They want to be the one to ask the questions.
Mm-hmm.
One to ask questions, keep it in order.
Yeah, only the king asks questions.
Yeah. Ask king.
Ask king.
All right, so trying to figure out what Chris said. We got to get y'all an update on IDs. See if Chris on here. All right, so I don't know how many of y'all heard what I was seeing the video I did on the Foreign National Resource Card.
What you say, bro?
I said I don't know how many people have seen the video I did on the Foreign National Resource Card.
I didn't see that.
That's all right.
Yeah, I didn't see it, bro.
Okay.
I seen the latest one you did, I think a couple days ago.
All right, so the foreign national ID card. Okay, so it's some some changes are happening. Some changes are happening with the cards. So we're gonna have 2 different cards. Well, for those that's members of AFPC. Hold on one second. We gonna skip that. I'm gonna wait till Chris come off so we can explain it.
Hey, it was somebody talking about the DTC. That's a dead end unless you got somebody willing to invest in that, so you can get accused to it and put it on the world market. I think they was asking, saying what other paperwork they need. The DTC gets kind of fishy. That you have to have a lot of resources to get a QSIP to be able to put something on the market. Almost like if you found some oil in your backyard, you could say, I got oil here, get somebody to do a survey, and you can get investors to invest in getting that oil out. Then you could get a QSIP for that and then monetize it. But I think what you was talking about right now is kind of far-fetched. I'm sorry, I was just looking in the chat. I didn't know who that was.
Oh, good. If you Jason or Tara, I mean, whoever can answer the question in the chat. I can't keep over the chat.
Oh, okay.
I can't even see it because I'm not in front of it. So if y'all can look out for it in the chat for me.
Yeah, I think that was Emotep or something.
Razor, Chris said let her in.
I think I just did. Yo, Chris.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. You tried to ditch us tonight.
I'm sorry. I had to take my girls to youth group, so
Okay.
I'm on the road. I'm on the road.
I was gonna go in, but I was gonna let you do the honors of giving an update about the cards, the ID cards, and the foreign driver's license.
Oh, you can go ahead if you have the sheet and stuff in front of you. I don't have anything with me because I'm on the road. Do you have anything you can show?
Well, yeah. Hold on. All right. People rolling in, huh? All right. So we introducing a new card, which is called a foreign national driver's license. So for those that haven't seen the video I did entitled Foreign National Resource Card, you might want to go back and look at that. So the resource card looks like this. If y'all can see that. So basically what this is coming from the American Automotive Society, blah, 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 that basically they're the educate, they're the agency that educates the law enforcement and law enforcement officials on how to proceed with foreign nationals, American national, anybody outside of being a U.S. citizen. So these are the documents that they're instructed to look for if a person makes that claim to be a traveler up under that particular status and standard. So one of the IDs is the foreign national license, as well as the IDP. So because we understand that so we don't want to leave them with room to assume, because not all foreign national driver's licenses are created equal, which means they're not going to look equal, and therefore they're not going to be able to visually tell if yours is from whatever, as long as it says foreign national driver's license. So that's why we made it. We have a new card called the foreign national driver's license, which actually ties directly to your international driving permit. So it marries the two together. So it's the front side and the back side to this resource card. The back side is the directions and instructions how the police officer is supposed to proceed with you. So when at the top where it says it's a traffic stop, and then you have like these green areas, it says the first documents that they're going to request is the foreign national driver's license and the international driving permit. When you look at the resource card, you're going to see a map at the bottom. You're going to see red states and you're going to see green states. The red states are the states that require the international driving permit. So as you can see, most states don't require it, but it's recommended. So everybody's obligated to have an international driver's license. I'm sorry, a foreign national driver's license. But depending on what state you're traveling through determines if you need to have that accompanied with an international driving permit. Now, as far as American nationals and PC, we're not recommending anything outside of having both together like we've been doing. So now you will have the foreign national driver's license that'll be tied to the IDP, and as well as the address on the foreign national driver's license is another significant thing. So we won't leave them room to assume that we're a part of their particular state corporation. So now we'll have our foreign national address on that ID as well. So same rules apply. We'll have the foreign national drive instead of the regular ID. We'll have the foreign national card along with the international driving permit and your authentication documents that come along with that. And that's pretty much it on that. Chris.
So what we need to get that?
Huh?
So what we got to do to get that, bro?
I'll let your girl, Chris. Yo, Chris, anything you want to add to that?
I'm having a hard time hearing, but I'll be home in about 5 minutes or so, I think. But yeah, you can get them through ANPC. But again, I'm having a little bit of a hard time hearing on the road here.
Okay, we'll come.
But yeah, and I don't know if you can kind of show them a little bit what it looks like or not. That's up to you. But it is a little different than it's so the ANPC member ID cards are similar to when you just get a state ID. Just getting a state ID. See this, every state has an ID and a driver's license. So now we have a union state identification card, which is when we come in and become a member, we get that, and that can be used for many different things, just your general ID when you're doing things, post office, whatever. And then the foreign driver's license is according to what this resource chart. Okay, yeah, he's showing the two different ones.
I don't know if y'all can see that. Can y'all?
Yeah.
Okay. So you see the foreign national one at the top is completely foreign. Everything on there is foreign. Foreign address, the number on that matches my IDP, the whole 9 yards. So this document, this will be used for travel purposes. Now the other document, the traditional membership card, that will be used for every other purposes. Regular identification purposes, open up PO boxes, banks, whatever, the traditional usage.
So what's that fee on that one?
You gotta ask Chris that. I don't know if they even came up with one yet.
It's the same as the regular card. They're the same.
Yeah. So, yeah. So they also actually, Chris, NPC is going to be giving the foreign national resource card along with that card too, right?
Yes, those are now going out with every order with the so that if you have those, you can carry those laminated with you in your automobile. And if a police officer stops you and he doesn't know what to do, well, here's the resource card that was printed that actually this corporation, the Travelers, whatever it's called, puts out just for police officers how to deal with foreign nationals. So, you know, it's just nice to have because it gives them the guidelines that's in the system of how to deal with this kind of stuff.
That's
Yep. And how many people do business on PayPal? Or have business?
I do.
Okay. For people that's doing business on PayPal, PayPal is trying to build up their credibility of being, I guess, recognized as a lending institution, lending financial institution. So they're long story short, they're giving away money. So y'all, so what they're looking at is they're looking at receivables. So this is good if your credit's not good, because they don't even look at your credit. All they're looking at is the bank account. You can have several different PayPal accounts. You know what I'm saying? Several different PayPal accounts. As many as you can keep up with. The whole objective is, I think they're looking at around 10,000 to 15,000 for you to get in receivables within, like, I want to say 90 days, on 90-day period. So basically, roughly around at least $5,000 a month. That'll help you qualify for a minimum like $2,000, $1,500, some easy quick money. But the thing is, it's a revolving line of credit, so you keep on pressing go every time you pay it back, and they automatically take it out of your receivables. So those that's clever, you know, that have businesses and stuff like that, you know, or friends that have businesses, you guys can buy services from each other, hint, hint, to track up these receivables to qualify for these loans.
what's up.
Like the money be in your account like in 5 minutes type stuff.
Okay.
I'm sure anybody can use an extra $2,000 to $5,000.
Can you go over that again? What do you mean in your account in 5 minutes? I somehow missed that.
PayPal got they have a lending program where they go off your receivables. Not that PayPal credit stuff. It's another one where they just going off your receivable. They don't run your personal credit, none of that. You know, and I have 2 accounts set up with a foreign EIN too. So they pretty much look at my receivables and they just, you know, and I asked them one day, they say anywhere if you get anywhere between like 10,000 to 15,000 every 30 days, it'll automatically, like, you know, notify you know, that department of that system and qualify you for these loans. And you just pay the loan back as you get paid. You know, as you get more income, it just automatically takes it out. So you can choose to either pay 10% per transaction, or you can pay up to 30%. So the bigger the loan is, determines how much they want to require you to pay back on a per instance. So, but the thing is, you got multiple PayPal accounts. You know, that could be $2,000, $4,000, $6,000 real quick. You just keep doing it.
All right, got it. Thanks.
Like I said, if you got friends, you know, could buy services from. You can help beef each other's accounts up. It's all accounting. Like, send me an invoice $1,500. Yo, send me an invoice $2,000. You know?
But the invoices got to be paid. So are y'all gonna be like
Yeah, that's why you
swapping
need
money back and forth?
that means that you need friends you can trust
Oh yeah, okay.
with that money.
I got a sister I could trust.
Yeah. And nephew.
Right.
Now I tell you on the flip side though, I don't like PayPal. But they is giving away some money. Just letting y'all know. So at this point, see, we all are building ourselves up to operate in trust. So if we don't have 2 to 5 people we can't send some money to and hope and know they're gonna send it back, these people shouldn't be around you. You know? You can leverage receivables in the accounts. You can leverage your receivables in your PayPal account at the end of the year, print that joint out to go to a bank and get it up to get a bank loan, regular bank loan.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Can we go back to the IDP in the foreign and the ID?
Sure.
Okay, how much did you say those were? You said ask Chris, but nobody answered.
Chris, okay, so I'm assuming that's 180 then, because the original ID is 180.
And that was the blue one.
Yeah.
And then what about the foreign national?
It'd be the same.
Okay. All right. What's the process to obtaining those?
You just put in a request at npcorders@gmail. After you complete the prep course, if you haven't done so already.
After you do what now?
Complete the prep course if you haven't done so already.
Okay. And that's that tab to contact ANCP. And
yeah, somebody put that in the chat. npcorders@gmail.com.
Hey, bro, and I don't the IDP and everything been working so far. You only have problems just when you get to the banking aspect, but it's cool. But other than that, I'd use it for everything. Court, the fly plane, they just want you to get there at least 30 minutes to an hour before you take off, just so they can verify. But I haven't had any problems so far as using that for nothing.
Yeah, I mean, we just, and we trying to keep it like that. That's why we constantly updating and enhancing things, you know what I'm saying, to add to the security.
Yeah. You know, they added it at the casino, because I went to the casino, you know, to mess around last Friday, and they never seen it before, but he added it to their list, because they pull out a book and they got this list of all these, you know, foreign and different ID cards, but they added that to their list. So I'm interested to see when I go back.
That's
Got
real.
mine on it.
That's real nice. Somebody has their hand up, Maseka. I don't know if she tried to. If you have a question, you can unmute.
Oh, peace, brother Hellraiser. What's going on, man?
Oh, what's good, bro?
I remember last time I didn't never get to hit you back. Remember I had the situation with my vehicle. I sent them notice, because when they usually give you 15 days. I sent them a notice, and I went and got it notarized to make them just to hold the vehicle. And I filed a claim with the Federal Trade Commission, and it's been some weeks. I haven't heard back. I haven't heard back anything from them, but I have all my the title. I have all my receipts. I have everything actually for proof that, you know, the vehicle's paid for.
Wait, you got the title back?
Yeah, I got my title and everything.
How you? Okay, run that back. Run the back end story on that.
Okay, because I was dealing with one of these car lots. I'd have had my vehicle probably since 2015, and this just recently happened. What, end of the month, last month, I want to say. And I paid for the vehicle. I have all my records. They were trying to collect off of late fees, which was some actually crap anyway. But so what I did to just, you know, because I went to the lot. I knew they didn't know, you know, anything about the UCC, anything about that. So I went to the lot and said, give me a payoff statement. So I took my payoff statement, made copies of it. I A4V'd it, sent it back to them. So what they did was, so what I got probably 3-4 days later, I got some back from their attorneys or whatever to the car lot, because I said, y'all committing fraud. So I had to, you know, I sent them a notice to stop whatever they were doing, because they were going to try to actually take the vehicle. And then, you know, if they repo your car, they give you 15 days, I think. So I actually put a hold on that. I said, show me proof. You know, I just sent them a notice basically telling me to show me proof that I owe this or that this debt is real, because I have the vehicle since 15, haven't heard anything from them or received any notice from them since it was paid for. So after that, I filed a claim. After that, I filed a claim with the Federal Trade Commission. And I haven't heard anything back from them, you know, just on top of everything else that's been going on. I was just wondering what next step should I take as far as this process, or, you know, filing a suit or anything like that.
So you paid for this car back in 2016.
Well, no, it was paid for. My last payment was in December 2017, actually. I have all my statements. I made them actually send me copies of everything also, because I went and I had a notice. I, you know, wrote up a notice, got it notarized, and sent it back to them to make them, you know, this freeze to stop whatever they were trying to do.
So you have the title to the car, but they claiming that you owe them something.
Yeah. Fraud to the fullest.
Yeah, that's right there. Did you put a claim on the car before that happened?
No, this was, you know, when I got the car, this was before I even started, you know, even learning about, you know, about this and everything. You know, I did get filed. You know, you helped me with my file, and I got my UCC and everything filed and everything. So, but yeah, I actually purchased the vehicle before any of this, so I was actually, you know, paying it off.
I'm a little baffled on that one. That's weird.
Yeah.
And it's based off late fees.
What'd you say, bro?
They trying to base it off late fees.
Yeah, and even on the statements, even on the, you know, they like the notice that they sent me. See, they messed up, because once I made them send back my notice, I have all the payment history. I have the payment, and I kept that on my own anyway. But I made them verify. I said, verify. You know, try to send me proof that I owe this. And just looking through the documents, nothing is really. It's really fraud, basically.
You sound like you need to call the police and put out.
Man, it took everything in me not to go in there and act a damn fool, man. I just, You know, I know
Did you
it's
say
other
they took the
ways to
car,
do it.
bro?
The title, when you have a title to the property in possession, you're the owner.
Yeah, I received the title, what, a couple weeks after I got the vehicle, you know, after you get your tags. You know, after I got, you know, the tags and all that crap, you know what I mean? So I had all that. So it's basically fraud, man, to the fullest, man. That's all. And I'm just, you know, being that all this crap that's been happening, I just made them, you know, just where y'all can't sell it or anything. Y'all gotta hold a vehicle till further notice. I sent them a, you know, I got notarized and sent them a notice for that.
So did they so he's saying they repoed it, bro?
Yes, they repo.
So you saying they stole it?
Basically.
If you have the title in his hand, that I would force.
Yeah,
I'm
that sounds like
confused.
a claim. Yeah, that's weird. You need to sue him for
I don't
stealing
see
your
how they
property.
can win that.
Say that again, bro.
I don't see how they can win that.
Yeah, but some of these dealerships, they get away with a bunch of bull crap because I mean a lot of people don't even know how, even the stuff that I even knew, and I hit them with it. Like, cause I came up there when they first did it, I came up there, you know, and I said, give me a payoff statement. That's the first thing I did. I said, give me a payoff statement with the so-called amount that you tried to charge me with, and I A4V'd it and sent it back to them. They didn't know what it was.
So let me ask you: is that how you got the title back?
Did I get? No, I already had the title.
So it didn't come from the A4V.
No, I already had the title.
Okay.
I kept all my receipts of payments. I kept everything.
How did you
Did he put a lien on it?
How did you get the title though?
And when was it? I got the vehicle in February 2015, and I got the title in March. Once
Did you pay in full? Did you pay in
No,
full?
I didn't pay in full.
Oh, okay. So they just gave you a copy.
Yeah, so that's usually a certificate of title. You know what I mean? Yeah, I didn't pay it full, but you know I had the payment installments, and that ended for the last payment. Actually, I paid on it to the end of 2017. It ended in August, I want to say. Like far as the installments, because I paid weekly or
That
bi-weekly.
sounds like a lawsuit for breach of contract, don't it?
Yeah.
It seemed like they messed up somewhere.
Yeah.
And they just tried to just go in and claim and grab the collateral.
Yeah.
But it's like something is off somewhere.
Yeah, I've been yeah, man. I
would lean the property up and take that title and put a declaration of ownership on there on the record. And, start sending out those. Send them an intent to sue.
Okay.
But it tailored up as a intent to sue and conditional acceptance, based on proving the validity of your claim.
Okay.
Exactly.
You posted some documents, I think, pertaining to that. I know I'm gonna have to go back to the site and look those up. And you said the ownership,
Yeah, declaration of ownership. You gotta claim that title. You gotta put that on the record. You gotta lien that vehicle up.
Okay.
Hefty lien on it too.
Okay.
And so you can push him to default so you can charge him.
Okay. Definitely that'll be my next step then, because I as far as filing that claim with the Federal Trade, I didn't hear anything back from them, so I gave it a little time. So yeah, I think I'll just move on with the next step then, as far as that, and to take that title and put it on record.
Yeah,
I have to go through that website. I just inbox you. I have to go through the website, and because I know you have some documents kind of pertaining to that stuff, and I know I have to probably tailor it for my situation, basically. Yeah, I'll go on the website. I'll keep you posted about that though, bro. I'll definitely get those forms and do that.
like I am, you would click.
So what I was wondering is if you have that car title, have you put it into a trust?
No, I haven't. Actually, I'm just really starting this not too long ago, so I'm still learning about a few things. But I did get filed. I got, I can make sure I got my birth certificate, everything authenticated, filed my user ID and things like that. So I'm just kind of learning, moving forward with the next step. Also,
Because if you have the title and you can move it into a trust, that's going to highly secure that car. That car.
okay.
It's gonna tie it up so that, if they're already kicking back and forth, I would do that as soon as possible.
Okay, I definitely will. I definitely get on that. Definitely.
Absolutely. So, did you want to cap off on that foreign national driver's license, Chris? Is everybody clear on that?
I think you did a good job.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I got a question on it.
Uh-huh.
So the address that's going to be on my IDP is going to be on that on that ID.
Right. Yes.
Okay.
So you're going to want to use the same address on your foreign grant or trust, your IDP, your foreign driver's license, and if you do get a World Service passport, you're going to want to have a residency permit using the same address, that foreign address, and on the back page of that, those of you that have it, you need to write the foreign address on where it says domicile on the back page. You want to write that, and also there's a spot on that back page for putting your IDP number and your foreign driver's license or ID number. There's spots on that back page, so everything needs to link together with the same address as everything.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions, concerns?
I have a question.
Okay.
You was mentioning the Notary Commission. I live in the state of Florida. I do have a Notary Commission, but it was established with the Social Security number, and I was told I can give it back and try to get it with the 98 number, but it's Florida kind of crossed you up with that. Do you have any suggestions as far as should I just get rid of that one or just maneuver a certain kind of way with it?
I don't know. I don't think you would necessarily have to get rid of it because technically it'd be two different people getting a notary.
Okay.
Because I say that to say, in the world of contracts and commerce, you are not you. You are a number, right?
Right.
So you got your that number over there got that notary you have right there. So when you go back in there, it's going to be a whole nother entity getting that notary, not you. So what you would do is you would use the 98 when they ask for the social. What I would have a different address though.
Have a different address, definitely.
So as long as you have this different address, and you when they ask for the social, give them the 98. When they ask for a driver's license, give them the international driving permit number. In replace of the letters on the international driving permit, you want to put zeros. So 0000, and then the rest of the number, and that'll be the driver's license number.
Okay. But on the website, when you're applying in the state of Florida, when you try to put the 98 number in, it'll tell you, please enter a valid Social Security number.
When you put in 98?
Yes.
Really? Okay, for that, you might have to do this. What you think, Chris? I think she need to take that 98 and go create a simple trust number with that, then go back in there.
Yeah, she could do that, or what I was thinking, either that or a CPN, one or the other.
Yeah.
Yeah, she can create a simple trust, use that, or I think she's going to have better results using a CPN because I've tried the simple trust method and they don't like that very well.
Well, we're noticing this. Every state systems operate different. They look for certain things. That's why Indiana's a gold mine right now.
I know. Well,
I don't think even have to be in these. You don't have to live here or be here. You can just, you know what I'm saying? Like it's a lot. It's just like us using Washington to do, you know, our initial filings. We're not in Washington. But we use, you know, Washington State to conduct that portion of our business. You know?
Okay, what's the CPM?
A credit profile number.
How do I?
It's an alternative to social. Another identification number used for credit.
Okay.
So yeah, I would try that, and then or try Indiana while it's still up, because they changing stuff right now. But those that take advantage of that notary situation will thank themselves later in life, because there's a lot of powerful methods that can be done in the midst of notary representatives.
What did you do? Did you go and purchase insurance from just a regular notary bond company, or what did you do?
Yes, I did. Okay.
Hellraiser, did you? In Indiana, how is it?
Yeah.
$50.
Yeah, you have different options, but this is one place that I went to. They just I like them because they give you the whole package. They give you the bond and plus your the equipment and something else. It's like it's like $75 though, but they give you a little bit more.
Oh, okay.
It's all in one package. Hold on, let me get that address.
Did you become a notary the whole time?
Huh?
You become the notary, right?
Yeah.
Because remember, I got kicked out and came back in.
Okay.
So I was trying to figure out what y'all was trying to get too far. Are you becoming a notary, paying the money to become your own notary?
Well, we're just making letting it be known the importance of you know, having your notary or having people around you to have their notaries, especially on the gate number.
I'm trying to become a notary.
Yeah, well, yeah, we was talking about how the correct way of getting it without the social and the driver's license.
Okay.
Well, and remember, 3 notaries have a power to overthrow any judge's decision. 5 notaries can even overthrow the Supreme Court. That's why as many of us as can get notaries as possible is good, because when we start coming together with our juries and stuff that are actually backed by silver, that's when we're going to need you guys. So keep that in mind.
I heard that today about that. I just heard the thing about that. But the notary is more powerful, has more power.
Gotta work on getting my notary.
Oh yeah.
I heard that already. I
So
just need to know the address and I'll pay for it.
Can we go back over that process a little bit briefly?
Can we go over what now?
Yeah, the process of becoming a notary without using the social and the state ID.
Okay.
Is there a document that could be created for that for everybody?
Is there what?
A document that could be created for the notary. That way everybody can just do it.
No, sir.
Okay.
Because every state is different. Every state has a way of you just have to apply. And but ultimately, the way you go into that application is the same. So basically, the objective is making sure that you don't present a social security number or a driver's license. Those are the 2 things we want to keep. And then also, it's still recommended you have a different address outside from the one you use that you actually live at. We never should be using our address where we live at, period, anyway. So that shouldn't even have to be said, but I'm repeating it for those that haven't figured out the importance of that. You can't keep allowing giving these people consent to address you.
I understand. I have a general delivery mail address.
Perfect. So basically, when they ask for the driver's license number, you know you're gonna give the international driving permit number, and depending on your state or whatever, the first if you have letters before the number, you're gonna put zeros in place of those letters, and then where it's asks you for the social, you're gonna give them the 98 number, or if you have a CPN number or a simple trust number. Now, if you guys have all that in order and you still have problems in that state, I'm just personally recommending trying Indiana.
So how long does it take for the process in Indiana? I mean, because I'm in Pennsylvania. So filing in Indiana, I mean, it's still irrelevant.
You said how long did it take?
Yeah, I was wondering how long did it take.
Application process is real simple, and
Right.
they starting to make it a little difficult now, but it was real simple at the end of the day. But I think I got my confirmation like 2 days.
Right. So my question is, I'm in Pennsylvania. That's Indiana. What is it still a relevance that I can still, if I became a notary in Indiana, will I still be able to move around and use my notary?
Yeah, you can like I've been places before and you can get your document notarized anywhere.
All right, gotcha. I'm just saying me as being a notary though. I'm saying going forward with the notary thing. So like, say I'm in Pennsylvania, I want to notarize all my documents where I'm at right now.
Whoa! You're not gonna be able to notarize your own documents.
That's the notary.
Nah. Now, just for entertainment purposes.
Okay, go.
For entertainment purposes only. Now, if you got some different numbers, tags, and some different names laying around, you want to notarize those on your own behalf, be my guest.
Yeah.
Who's to say what? You know what I'm saying?
No doubt about that.
So we got trust numbers, we got trust names, we got spiritual names, we got all those other things. Like, I don't know. You know? So
I like that one.
So if your documents is all in your government name, and most of your documents are, if that's how you rolling or whatever, okay, try to get a notary in your spiritual name. You know?
Right.
Now he can notarize all his.
I see. And you know, I have a fictitious name too that I own already.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I got you. That's for entertainment purposes. I got it. Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and do the 2-step to that one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's all good there.
I'm sorry. I have one more question in regards to the 2 documents, the traveling documents. Has everybody who got the traveling documents also give back their state driver's license, and are they having any issues with being pulled over and harassed?
That's a good question. I like that.
Can somebody outside of me answer that?
I have it. I only reinstated my license just for banking purposes until I get that issue addressed. But no, you don't need it to drive because we don't drive anyway.
Correct. I'm traveling.
You travel.
At this point, as far as I know, there's a lot of members that are using them, and
hello everyone.
I believe that there's only an issue in Indiana at this point, as far as we know. If they have everything in place, everywhere else they're stopped. They look at their documents and they say, "Have a nice day," and let them go.
It's only a problem in Indiana because that particular group doesn't have birth certificates.
Yeah. Well, some of them do, but it's just a matter of there being harassment for many years, and they don't want to let it go. So,
in Pennsylvania, I'm having a small problem. My husband got pulled over. He has his IDP and everything, and what they did was they wrote tickets, but they left off half of his name, but they sent tickets to my house because they used the registration from the car to get the address, because my IDP, his IDP and his ID, his American National ID, do not have our home address on it. But
okay, so why did the trust? Okay, so your car trust had the home address?
No, we didn't put the car in a trust yet.
Okay, that's why. When it's not in a trust, they can use that as jurisdiction, and that's what we tell everybody. If you have everything in place where you have your trust layered, then that won't happen. But yes, they will get the jurisdiction if you don't have the car in the trust. So those of you that get, okay, so there's the jurisdiction is your address, your name, and the car. So you have to cover all three sides. It's always 3. Everything goes in 3 in the system. So if you don't do all 3, they'll get you on one of them. I had a friend that actually had the car in the trust and everything correct, but he didn't have something done right with his name, or something, and they couldn't touch the car. They left the car sit on the curb and took him to jail. See? They couldn't touch the car. That was not, so, yeah, you have to be really careful. So usually, like I said, as far as we know, Indiana is the only one that we found where they actually have everything in place and they won't even look at their papers because they're so used to harassing them for all these years. They won't look at them. They'll just throw them on the hood or whatever and arrest them just because they've been doing it for years and years.
Don't they get sued for that?
Yeah, we've sued them. We've sued them, but they we have record that the judge calls on up to the higher court and makes them remand it back to his. I don't know how he's doing this. Something really strange is going on.
I think he's doing a friend of the court brief for that.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
That's what he's doing.
Yeah,
that's what it's called too. Called a friend of the court brief. They did that to me, and the prosecutor did that to me a couple of times before. I know that too well.
Go above his head.
That's all you gotta do.
To where?
Yeah, the first stage is, you know, you got to get past those first two articles. You got to go to the appeals. You got to go up to the court of appeals.
We went to appeals and he did the same thing. We have it on the record. We went to appeals. We did it twice to appeals, and he called up there and we had it on the record. Even he called up and had the appeals court remand it back to him again.
Remand it back. And that's what they normally do. See, you gonna have to. I'm sorry. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead, brother.
Is that a state or is that federal?
That's a county.
Well, now you have to go federal because this is the same way in criminal cases. I had a state case. I was in jail. Man, the federal supersedes everything. So when you go,
but we appealed it to the federal court. We brought it to the federal court of appeals. Yeah. And that was where he called up to the federal court of appeals and asked them to remand it, and they did.
And then you got to refile it again, saying that in your language has to be that he keeps wanting to demand for him to go ahead and supersede the jurisdiction of what's going on, so he can manipulate the whole case. That's what he's trying to do. So you have to put that language in there that he's having this remanded back down. Why is it not any remedy on the federal? And if you don't, go to the precedent judge in the federal court, and he will deal with it.
Yeah.
You got to take different steps. You got to go over the federal judge that's appeals. You got to go over their head now to their superiors, and they will get to it. Just keep, it's the same way, keeping the paper trail.
It's a game. It's a game.
That's all it is.
Hey, are you guys keep an eye on that chat? I see some hands and some. I can't really see it on my iPad.
I don't see them. I'm just seeing people on here. That's it.
Hey, I got a question.
What's up, bro?
One question, not to backtrack a little too far. With the PayPal, were you talking about? It was two different ones. You said one for like credit card and one for just, I guess, standard PayPal.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So, one real quick, the web address for the Indiana Notary is Indiana. Just put IndianaNotary.com. That's all it is. And it's called the American Association of Notaries, and you can pretty much apply in all states on that website. In American Association of Notaries, and you just buy the whole package. All right, so now you say so basically when you log into your PayPal account, it's gonna you should see it now because they really amping it up. It's two of them though. When you first log on, it's a page that says. Check eligibility to make sure see if you qualify for it like a business loan, but that's not the one you're really looking for because they do run your credit on that. It's another one when you log into your account called working capital. Google PayPal working capital, and that'll take you to it. And you can apply for it.
Okay. Yeah. No doubt.
And you can keep applying over and over again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I see how that work. You know, you're saying like you and your man basically would just be hitting each other with them invoices, and then y'all basically just be trading that same 700 or that same 1500 back and forth.
Yeah, for entertainment purposes. I ain't say I did it. I'm just
for entertainment purposes only. I agree, brother.
My bad.
Hypothetically, if we want to
all that entertainment strictly. I'm ready to do my two-step too. Shit.
Oh, snaps.
You know, ultimately we want 1 + 1 to equal $15,000 within 90 days, so you qualify for that loan.
No
So
question.
There it
many
is.
times you got to make it work. You know.
Hey, I got a question too, man. On the property registered bond for investment, right, that you sent out to Puerto Rico, is that same bond supposed to be distributed to the Treasury here in Washington, D.C.? Or is that just for Puerto Rico to monetize it and do what they need to do with it? Because I'm at the last stages right now. That's why I've been real quiet. I'm all my paperwork together now. So here's the bit of it, which is the privacy, the bond set off. It has one for Puerto Rico.
Are you talking about the chargeback what's package?
SBC, yeah.
No. It's here.
Got the whole harmless.
I got the hell harmless copyright, security agreement. I got all that. I'm talking about this. Oh, this is called the private registry bond for investment, which is to the actual Treasury Department.
Yeah, that's the SPC, bro. That's still the SPC thing. They ain't. We're not saying they're not honoring it, but ain't no evidence that you could have a valid claim to go through. Everybody done did that. That was the whole move. That was the whole move.
Are you talking about a chargeback letter, brother? That's what I'm saying. You talking about chargeback letter?
Nah, registering your bond with the Secretary of Treasury in Puerto Rico, which was supposed to be the real American Secretary of Treasury. You know, that's still the SPC process.
Okay.
Meaning it still ain't no solid evidence that works.
Was that Tim Turner stuff?
No.
Nah, it wasn't just Tim Turner. Right? That was the whole idea, was to get those funds, set up a trust, and draw those funds down from the trust that the government created. But they shut that off. That was with the DTC and the legacy accounts and all that fun stuff. But now the process is you just creating everything the United States created, and you do what they've been doing to you all these years.
Right. Mirroring the process.
I didn't follow none of that. I followed the last part, but I'm still stuck on that. I'm trying to figure out. So this process does not work. That's what you're telling me.
Yes, sir. That process does not work. That's getting your bond, getting the medallion stamp. You know, it's insured and all that. Yeah, that don't work, brother. We've done all that. Because you'll send it in, and then you waiting, and then if you try to make a transaction, you know, the government can construe that like you are using private property to do that. That's why they're telling you now to do trust, because now you're putting yourself in a corporate capacity, making yourself even with the government, so you can have standing to do those things.
Well, I do have a declaration of trust. I got all that stuff too as well. I got the EIN number, everything. My thing was, is this was part of something that I was dealing with some other people, and this was part of their package.
Yeah, that's still the SPC. People just bundling it up different, but it's the same concept. Anytime you hear somebody talk about sending something to Puerto Rico or to the Treasury, that's dealing with the SPC process, trying to get your bond activated.
Right. So so what about the one so you don't send neither one of them to the Treasury Department here in the United States or in Puerto Rico then?
I mean, that's what I'm saying. You can do that, but it doesn't work. That's how we say it. Yeah, we done it. We done it.
So I don't even know.
Wow.
All that.
Yeah, if you're bored, it's something to do. If you're bored.
Listen,
I'm pretty sure all the mail that be going to that dude just go right to a dumpster somewhere now.
Yeah, I ain't got no time for no. I got things to do, but that ain't one of them.
Yeah. It was good though. It was good information though. Like doing the SPC brought you at least up to speed on the fraud of the system. But as far as their actions that they were taking to free themselves is obsolete at the moment. That's all.
Peace, y'all.
So this is a whole different process now.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
I know it's crazy. It changed overnight, bro.
So I've done that.
Can anybody hear me?
I've done that process myself. I've done everything. So what is the process that this team is going with?
Just separating yourself. You making yourself non-domestic.
Yeah, basically we move everything. We're working from trust only, trust and you know, instead of birth certificates, silver bonds, we're going on totally to the private to where we're not exposed out there anymore. So it's trust to trust, really, is what we're doing.
Exactly.
So, so the held harmless agreement, security agreement, as well as the copyright notice, all that goes into the W-8 and the bond and birth certificate. Does that go to the Treasury Department?
You was when you did the package, you sent it because you sent that basically letting them know that you had authorization to send this packet out to them, but they're not acknowledging it. Like even people that did the checks and redeem in lawful money to the Treasury, nobody has been redeemed in lawful money. You know what I'm saying? We're not saying it didn't work. Now it doesn't work. Too many people trying to do it. And you know, with the computers, everything is algorithms now, so they know how to shut out certain things.
So all right. So now I'm finding the actual process itself. So without the bond, cancel that out of there, and we're dealing with just the copyright notice, security agreements, the held harmless agreement, the W-8, the 56, and the bond as well as the birth certificate. Get the bond, the birth certificate? Do they all still go up?
No. You can still. Now the whole harmless and everything, you can still use that because we were using that to take back your basically your straw man name to claim ownership of the name. Right now, the process we're doing now. Oh, great. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, basically, probably what you were going to say is we're perfecting the title instead of just doing. Yeah, we perfect the title and turn the reversionary interest back to the United States Inc. and unlink ourselves from that straw man so that we can operate without that around our neck.
Gotcha.
So under HJR 192, they're responsible for all the debts of those straw men they created. So we're just saying, okay, have it. Go ahead. Take the debts and all. You know, I'm free now. I'm doing something else. I mean, our only chance is to create a system outside of their system and operate alongside. That's our only chance. That is what we have to do. We got to get out of it and build our own system.
Exactly. Because they don't want us to make the Treasury give us money. Because for one, we don't have an army, and it's gonna start there. And us just complaining and sending them stuff ain't gonna do anything, you know. So basically, we just found out once you become a non-domestic entity within the jurisdiction of the United States, you could be a non-domestic entity. Now you can operate under the guise that you don't have to use their money. It will be negotiable instruments and contracts between the private people, which is your word, and the private, which can be bonded basically with the silver. But the other one you was talking about is just they was trying to the whole SPC was trying to get some of that money from the Fidelity accounts that they had sitting there, and that sets the KV Trust. But like you said, you can get insurance on your neighbor, but that don't mean your neighbor can go in there and take that insurance money. They just put it in our name.
Yeah,
that's all.
They just they created an entity, you know, making it look like just trying to make you liable and make you believe it was you. And
exactly.
So I wouldn't boil those damn bond paper for absolutely damn nothing.
But we did the same thing, bro. We did the same thing.
I mean, just finish the whole process still. Just send it in. I mean,
I'm still going to send it in. I'm like, this is, I mean, but see, that's what I'm saying to you. I don't want to waste time on stuff that I don't have to waste time. You understand where I'm from?
Yeah, I feel you.
Like, I like to get straight to the point. If there's going to be another way to go, let's get to that. I don't want to be dragged along in the mud. I did that in prison already. You know what I'm saying? Dragging me to parole board. No, I'm done. Just give me my papers. Either you parole me or not. What you going to do? That's what I'm.
That's what Chris. That's what Chris and them is doing. They have their. We basically, in a nutshell, is building a nation, and the more people you have on board in this community doing one particular thing, you know, it just creates a wave in the system. They can't ignore you. They have to address you, or they have to leave you alone. And now you're saying once you figure out how to do the administrative procedure correctly, that's your remedy. But most people don't. We still hung up on, you know, this paper. You're gonna have to sue them if you
ain't got no problem. That's easy.
Them to leave you alone. Yeah. You know, and then it just comes down to evidence and standing. But if you don't have standing when you do these lawsuits, it's null and void. So,
which is true.
What we're doing is making ourselves be able to have standing in the court of law. That's all.
So how do you do that? What's the process?
What you're doing now, you have to be private. Because right now you're a 14th Amendment citizen. And if you're a 14th Amendment citizen, you're under their legal codes.
Right.
Period. Point blank, period. The Constitution, all that is public information.
So,
No,
period.
I'm saying,
I'm sorry, sister.
what's the process for what you and Chris and Hellraiser are doing?
That's the AMPC. You get on their website, become a member, get the IDP. They got a test. They give you like a rough draft of what's going on, and then once you get into the perfected package, a thing of that nature, you'll get more information that you can research, and that'll give you a better understanding on the process that we went through.
Okay,
But
because
you're
I was
I'm sorry, go ahead.
tonight, there was a couple different, it specified SPC, it specified ANPC. I didn't see anything, other options besides those two, or the groups. Those were groups, actually.
Did you hear her, Chris? I didn't hear.
I didn't hear. I couldn't hear. She was breaking up really bad.
Okay, I was saying that I was on the website last night, and you only have two groups that's on the website where I guess I was searching, trying to find a direct spot besides the IDP section to become a member and to get your IDP and your world passport. So it's just the SPC and the shucks, what was the other one I said?
What website were you on?
The AMPC? The purple one?
AmericanNationals.org?
Mm-hmm.
AmericanNationals.org. I'm not exactly sure what you're talking about as far as two
I'm going to
groups.
tell you exactly right now because I still have it open. It gave me two groups.
Oh my gosh, your teeth.
After I did the become a member.
Oh.
Can you show the screen right quick just so we can see what the screen looks like?
I don't know if I can do that. That's that.
As soon as you put up the
Hold on,
site,
let me see. I
you
probably
have the
can.
red
Is it this one?
seal on there.
Hold on, is it this one? Because I'm on it. Is it that one?
Who is that?
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
You got to do the membership first before you get any other information off of there.
Okay.
Got it. And once
Did you hear me, sweetheart?
Yes, I did. Once I became a member, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you now.
Okay, once I became a member, I was searching the website, and the website gave me a SPC group, and it gave me a nationals group. Was I going to the right area?
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
I'm not sure where you were.
It just gave me groups. It didn't give me any other tabs besides those two groups.
So did you say did you apply for the IDP, or you're still trying to?
No, I just wanted to know the procedures. I have not applied for the IDP yet, but I do
got
have access to the test.
I got you. You said you do what? You do have the test?
I do have access to the test. Yes, so I have gotten that far.
I got you. See, most of the information is going to come from once you become a member, because it's hard to just put a bunch of information on there because people are taking things and stealing information. So you have to become a member, and then once you get that IDP and your ID, then you'll be afforded more information on the next step, if that's understandable.
Okay, I got you. I see.
It might be okay. Okay.
Yeah, it just helps to keep those trolls off from people stealing processes.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Did I say that correctly, Chris?
Yes, you did.
Hey, I have a question. Have anybody dealt with a divorce using when you have a divorce, we're already in your straw name, and now you switched over? Like, what's that process?
You say you have the divorce already on the straw name?
Well, no. I want to begin. I need to begin the process of it.
Oh, yeah, no, you can do it. You can do a common law divorce. Yes, I did that. Yes, you can do a common law divorce all the way from start to finish without going through the whole court thing. Basically, when you do a state divorce, basically you're going and appealing to them and asking them for a divorce. When you do a common law divorce, you're simply noticing them that you're divorced and they better change the records and blah, blah, blah. So it's,
right.
yeah, it can be done.
I did my own divorce before. I just didn't do the common law divorce.
Right.
But you can get a divorce kit from Office Depot for like
Yeah.
$35.
Yeah,
As long
right.
as y'all don't have any property, or if you are in good standing, or y'all can at least communicate, it'll cost you about $120 total with filing and everything, and you can be divorced.
But
It's
then,
that
but
easy.
you still got, with that way, you still got to go through the state and all that, right? In the county, right?
I mean, yeah, but it don't make it's not really bad because all you're doing is filling out the paperwork and you just filing it with the county.
Well, it depends. It depends if there's children involved. If there is children involved, it will be bad.
No, it's
Well,
no.
see, I got children also. I have 2 children when I got divorced. They have a Planned Parenthood application inside the kit.
Yeah.
Everything is
So
inside the kit.
see the state doesn't even know mine exist. They were born at home. They've never been anywhere. I mean, they don't even know.
Okay.
So there's no possible way that nobody's going to know they're even existing. So, you know, the common law divorce is the best route.
So how do I start that process with the common law divorce?
Why don't you talk with Hellraiser about that? We'll get together on that.
Okay.
ANPC doesn't
Question,
actually.
can anybody hear me?
Myself.
I'm sorry. Repeat that one more time. That last part.
ANPC doesn't have a process right now.
Right.
But
Okay.
I just did it myself, so we can talk about that.
Hey,
okay, cool.
Chris, that's I'll send you his emails so you can send me what you want. This that's my brother.
Okay.
I was telling you about that wanted the information.
Okay. Okay.
And then one more question. So say if you have an entity like I have, like an LLC, and you have your straw name is tied to that. Is there a way to untie it?
Start over.
Yeah.
I mean,
start over and leave that one alone.
Yeah. Once you attach it to attach that name and that number to, it's hard to pull it away.
Yeah.
Hey,
No, they have it in the system. They're not going to let that go.
Right. Okay.
Go ahead, Hotop.
Now, if you
can
guys
anybody
want
hear me?
a more economical way
Yes.
of establishing
Okay,
LLC,
cool. I had a question about the earlier about the FINS number and the security code and the security. And I know they said they shut down the FINS number.
Oh, that was the one we was addressing in the chat, bro.
Yeah.
About the DTC.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because I had just gotten mine in August, so, and I was just talking to a broker at Fidelity today. So I don't know, did they shut that down too?
See, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to draw down funds also, or are you trying to put your birth certificate on the world market?
Yeah, that's what I'm basically trying to do.
That's not gonna work, bro. That's the SPC process still. That's dealing with the legacy group. Because that FINS is that financial institution authorized number, something like that.
Yeah, with the that's
Yeah,
And
they're
then all
not
you're doing
doing
is transferring assets. It's basically just
Yeah.
transferring.
That's what I'm saying. They shut that down because that was the big thing. I found my account on there, but I wasn't able to. I got in the midst of it when what was your boy came out with it last August and kind of messed it up. When he went worldwide. So they kind of Fidelity went in there and changed their website around and everything. How everything is, because you could go under the T-bonds and all that at first, but you're unable to do that because it's not your money. In a nutshell.
Well, right, yeah, I get that. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I feel you though. But that's why I was saying. They were using that, like if you find a precious mineral or something in your backyard, or you buy some land and got oil, then you can have a survey done on that. You can get a contract on that, wrap it in a trust, then get a QSIP and put that on the market. Well, that's what everybody was trying to do with their birth certificates: take ownership of that, get a whole nother QSIP and a FINS number, so they could put it on the market and monetize it like the government. But that document is not yours.
Well, right, I get that. Right.
Yeah.
Wow, so that's why. Yeah, I get that. Okay.
Okay.
But keep researching. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no doubt.
So, one thing before I go into this other spiel. So, for people that have businesses, LLCs, and is looking to reestablish new corporations and for business purposes, stuff like that, LLCs can be very expensive. You know, easily over $500 starting off if you filing it yourself. If for more economical source for LLCs, go to New Mexico. They $50.
What you mean, bro? LLC?
LLCs in New Mexico, $50 a pop.
Hey, is that high price you quoting at 500 just in certain states? Because mine was 35 here, bro.
For LLC?
Yep. And I could do a corporation probably for about $60 with the articles of incorporation, the 8832 form.
Yeah, it's definitely on a state-to-state basis. I know Illinois is
okay.
Indiana's 200, half that.
Dang.
And so yeah, it depends on the state. I know.
I got you.
Like just like I'm saying, in New Mexico,
Mexico.
50, you know what I'm saying?
I got you. Yeah, it was 35 here in Missouri.
Yeah, so we don't have to incorporate in the state that we're living in. We can always, you know, establish business elsewhere and have, you know, mailing addresses within the state that we reside in or whatever.
Exactly.
And keep it moving.
Exactly.
Also,
before you go into that new spill, right? I just want to get to one question. I have a 501c3 that I had before. You know what I mean? I did all this. I didn't claim it on my UCC3, my UCC finance statement. I was going to do it on a 3. What you think?
It just makes you that just make you tax exempt, bro.
No, I'm just saying though. I mean, I have a nonprofit already though. I mean, I have it already.
Do another one for yourself.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. I can change that name up as well. You feel what I'm saying to you? I can change the whole name up. I mean, and then, I'm in Pennsylvania, so you can change. I do this work for a living, like change different corporation names, the whole 9 yards. I know how to update them and everything.
Okay.
Are you attached to that first one you own?
One more time.
I ain't trying to take.
Talking about my social security number?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm attached to that social. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't use my CPN on that.
You said you use your social security number or your CPN on it?
I didn't use I used my social. I didn't use my CPN. I got like 3. Anyway, just
so you would want to do one without your social security number.
Right.
Their social security number.
Right. So, quite a few people on here, it seems, still confused between the processes.
Definitely.
So let me clear it up real quick. One is public, one is private. The easiest breakdown between private and public as far as processes is this. A lot of the paperwork and the redemption manuals and stuff like that are still useful. Still use the indemnity agreement, the trademark agreement, the copyright agreement, the power of attorneys, you know, and everything else that comes. But when it comes down to doing the chargeback process and trying to instruct the Secretary of Treasury to disperse funds from this birth bond to the Treasury direct account and all that stuff, scratch that. It boils down, once we get to that the instrument of the birth certificate and that social security number. Those are private instruments. Those are public instruments and public bonds. That's not our property. And on the private side is what we're doing right now. We don't deal with the birth certificate. We create our own bonds and back those bonds up by tangible assets, which is our pre-1933 silver. It's the same concept, except one is public, one is private. It's private because we are the creators. We are the originators. So therefore, how can we be liable?
Right.
For the uses that we can use our property and our creation as we wish.
Yep. Come down to contract.
Between the two so you can go to look at these other processes pertaining to the birth certificate and the social and learn from them, but and kind of tailor it to, you know, making things work on the other side. Possibly if you at that point where you can compare and contrast information and tailor it to a process without contradicting yourself and stepping on your own toes by mixing and matching. But like I said, if you're a supreme newbie, I wouldn't try to entertain both at the same time right now. You know, I would just take it one step at a time. One is public, one is private. It's the public side and the private side to everything. It's like the UCC. The public side of the UCC is the UCC. The private side is the non-UCC.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes,
so
sir.
we're going back into we're in the public, we're trying to go into the republic.
Yeah.
What the hell is that noise?
Who played that?
What the hell is that?
Whoa.
Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable.
Is the gates of heaven opening up?
I was like so well timed. Like
it was perfect though.
And that was perfect time, and it was on cue and everything.
Right. That was Sister Go Light.
Hey, that let me know the force is with us for sure.
Somebody ad-libbing over there.
Right.
Freedom.
That's what's up.
Controlling our own properties.
Quick question. I'm sorry. Are you putting anything on the public record also?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Become friends with your county.
So we're going into the private, but in certain instances, we're bringing it back to the public, only to give notice.
Yep.
Because if they don't know, then now we're giving the room to be left up under assumption.
Yeah.
So they don't know that you're standing if you don't tell them.
Yeah. One who fails to assert their rights has none.
Has none.
So
Okay, I have a question for is it Christy?
Yeah.
Okay, I know I found out what I did wrong. I was getting Hellraiser's website mixed up with the ANPC. So
the ANPC.
A time test.
Hey.
Or once you access it, you need to go ahead and take the test because I see nowhere to log back in.
You talking about the American National Prep course?
Right.
So you mean you already processed and then you didn't take it at that exact time? So you're trying to find it?
Exactly.
Okay.
It gave you an ID to log back in with.
Well, so you already signed up, put your name and stuff.
You know what? It did, and I copied and pasted. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
She answered my question. Yeah, I'm good. All right, thanks.
Cool.
Okay, so again, the Hellraiser Legacy is a resource center. It has all type of information in there from every place on the planet. You be advised. You know what I'm saying? It's like a library.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, what was that other document you told? I found the affidavit of ownership. I forgot the other document you told me. I need to write that down so I won't forget. Because I know I got a lot of information I've been gathering. I just want to make sure I got the right one.
Declaration where? From where?
Off the website. I did it. I found an affidavit of ownership that I had. I can just, tailor make.
Yeah. You're talking about. So you need to pull up like a declaration of ownership for that title.
Yeah.
Tailor up a letter of validation and a conditional acceptance.
That's what I was. Yep, I skipped over that. I was. Yeah. Okay, I'm finna write that down.
Also entertain the estoppel process.
Say that again, bro.
I said also entertain the estoppel.
Oh, the estoppel. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Cease and desist.
Okay.
Get this work.
I got a question. Can y'all hear me? How y'all doing? You know you're going to have to hear from me.
Is that Australian USD? You in Forex?
Yeah, I've been trading for about 7 years now.
Okay, Miss Love.
Yeah, child.
Hey, can I borrow some stocks? Can I borrow some stocks from you?
Some stocks. I only trade the Australian dollar. That's the only pair I look at. I don't.
That's it.
I did real good today with it. It hit real good today. It went up.
Yeah, USD was cracking today. NZDJPY too.
Yeah. But look, those two IDs, I can use those for the airport. Which one?
You can actually use all of them for the airport.
Pardon?
I say you can actually use all of them for the airport. I do it all the time.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But I
Just
mean,
go
they
in
do
early.
extra screening, and you get a private pat down, but you can still use it.
Okay.
I don't like private pat downs. Mine be extra.
Only because I don't have my passport. Only because I didn't have my passport with me at the time. But yeah.
Now,
if I come back from overseas, they dudes and them come back with them black gloves and talk about come over here. They take you in the back somewhere. I don't like that.
That's what the
Hey, sometimes that's all the action people be getting. So hey.
I don't want that either. But my ANCP ID came in handy for me when I went to Miami to rent a vehicle.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, cause I didn't I'm not getting that Illinois driver license no more.
That's right.
So it was expired, and I'm like, man. And that's when the ANCP ID came in handy for me.
Nice. Good.
Hey, when you get a rental car, does that matter as far as like the register, getting pulled over in a rental, as far as like just having your traveler's permit and your ID, like the fact that it's not in the car's not in the trust don't really matter, right?
Well, I believe the rentals do have them in a trust or something similar.
Yeah.
They have to. Yeah, they have to for their own protection. So we haven't had any trouble at all with that. As long as you have your ID and your IDP and your paperwork and everything with you, it's they and buy their insurance. Don't try to put your own on. The best way is to get their insurance.
Yes, get their insurance. Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, we have people that do it all the time. One thing we are working on that we want to do is to actually get our IDs in the TSA book. We need to get a group that will go up to the actual TSA and meet with them, sit down with them, and get them in our book so that they can just flip in the book and not go, sometimes some of them go by the book and the book alone, and if you're not in the book, you're out. That's just how they do. It's just ridiculous. So.
And all those vehicles are in the trust. Even the vehicles they're selling on these lots are in the trust.
Yep.
Oh, correct.
Yeah, Chris, I only see the only problem that you would have is the banking industry with your IDP, because they just want state IDs. But anything else, you shouldn't have any problem.
Well, but some of the banks like BB&T, Central National, Old National, all those banks, they don't have any issue whatsoever. So what I'm thinking is every state has to have a bank for nationals. They have to. They're hiding it, but we've got to find it. That's why I'm telling everybody, look in your area, see if you can find some bank that's called something national. Go in there and try it. Because we're finding most of them have the word national in them, and but you have to, it's like finding a needle in a haystack. You got to find the one, but they can't take our remedies all away. They have to leave an option for nationals. So we're finding,
and go to a neighboring state. You don't have to try your state. Go to a neighboring state.
And those words mean a lot. National. So, Chris, thank you. That makes a whole lot of sense. It's spiritual, right? Yeah, national. Love it.
Unbelievable.
Remember, remedy means right.
And Chris, in regards to obtaining a bond for your automobile, how does that work if you get into an accident?
That's a good question.
Make sure it ain't your fault.
Yeah, that's something that we're actually working on right now is the collecting part. We've only been using it for liability and things like that, but we're working on that right now. Hellraiser and I are going to be doing some trials on some things here. So we're pretty sure that we can get it. We just have been working on it. We are going to make sure it works before we give it out to you guys.
I gotta make a statement. So I don't know how many people realize that. How many people realize? Well, I'm pretty sure quite a few people realize that they didn't get any invitations to last conference. That's because
me, and I was mad.
Yeah, I knew that he was gonna say something.
When was this?
Nah, JB, you was on the last conference.
Oh, okay.
No, I wasn't, because I was.
Yes, you was.
He was like, "We having a conference right now. It's only for the people for the perfected package." I'm like, "What you talking about, Willis?"
You talking about a couple days ago?
Yeah, wasn't it? Didn't y'all have like a little private conference?
Nah, that wasn't the conference. That was.
Okay.
No. But
all right, I digress.
Yeah. So no, I'm talking about from the last conference last month. So basically, honestly, a lot of times I don't be having enough time to be sending out all those invitations. To be honest, by email and stuff like that, I barely have time to post it on Facebook and YouTube or whatever. So it's like, But also, I did want to kind of sort of purposely do that to kind of get y'all to understand how important it is to stay in the loop. You know what I'm saying? Because if everybody's in the loop inside of either A, the Panu website, or B, the Hellraiser Legacy, all those invitations go out to the network. So I should only have to send out 2 invitations, one through both networks. You know what I'm saying? Instead of going through all these emails and sending it out and all this, it's too much, So I feel like whoever wants to be here gonna make sure they stay in the loop. So just FYI.
Well, I'm glad you sent out another confirmation.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff we want to go over too, and we are having our private American National meetings for the most active members that are actively going from process to process and building up themselves on the private side. And those would be the meetings that we're really spilling a lot of the beans and really sharing a lot of things that we got going on. Of course, we can't do that here because I'm pretty sure we got about a 10% troll ratio on here. So we gotta, be modest on different things and indirect on a lot of different things. But definitely, we just had it's gonna be like quick meetings or whatever, like no more than like an hour long, But we gave out so many different things that day as far as what's going on and resources. Y'all got to understand, we got to do certain things like that, but y'all got to stay in the loop so it put us in a comfortable, secure position to be able to give out that type of information, and not just, sticking your head in the dough here and there. It's like, it's like you either in or you out, and then it's like, I'm starting to do the numbers on all the people that have become American nationals, just from this year alone. And these people are not on these conferences. These people are not engaged in the networks. It's like, what are people doing after they get done going through a conference or two, getting the ID, and they disappear? What's going on? Like, what's happening? This audience should be growing on a month-to-month basis. It should easily be 250 people on here right now. You know what I'm saying? So it should be to the point where you got to reserve your seats because we can't pack more than 200 people in here, I don't think, or 100, I think, where I'm at. So that's not being done because people are not staying in the loop because they're not really about this life. They just entertaining some stuff for the time being because their head is really over here, but they heard we got this over here, so they gonna run over here and get that, but they still want. That does nothing. That don't hurt us. That don't hurt me personally at all. It really don't matter what somebody does. You know what I'm saying? That my life is not built on what anybody does. I purposely did it like that because that'd be messed up. That means I'd be depending on what y'all do as to that'd be based on my success. That ain't gonna never happen. So I'm gonna keep on making the platform available. We're gonna keep sharing it, but I'm not gonna be going overboard and breaking my neck to get the message to people, you know. So this is open. The doors of the church is open, but I can't keep telling people to keep coming to church on Sunday, you know.
Yeah.
So it's so much stuff is changing in this society. So we gotta constantly stay up to date and constantly alter and change, you know, certain things, certain process to make sure we stay afloat and stay ahead of the game. You know, we can have dramatic changes from today to January. You know, so if you're not staying in the loop, that'll be the reason why you're not progressing in whatever area you're trying to progress in. The platform, the purpose of being on this platform is for you to have a voice. If you have questions, you need to utilize your voice and your lips to say something. Open your mouth, unmute, raise your hand, say something. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what it's for. Because I don't respond to emails. Like I barely, unless I know you personally, I'm not responding to emails, inboxes, none of that stuff. Because especially for the people that send out that use that time to send out this long paragraph and problems. I'm gonna look at it and I'm gonna close my inbox. Or I'm gonna say, if you would like to have a consultation, click this link. And once I see a donation come through, I'll give you my number. But other than that, I don't have time to entertain that. You're talking about one person. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I can't be accessible to all these people at all times. You know, neither can ANPC. Neither can Chris. It's like it's unbearable, you know. But we try to make it easy for people to contact us and get their questions answered. Or we keep having these monthly conferences. We can easily charge for these conferences.
And also, Hellraiser mentioned, you know, we've got our platforms. There's the PANU platform. There's the GroupMe. There's all these things available for members to interact and get help from other members and support from, you know, the directors or whoever. We have all these.
Those are other extensions and other platforms. Now the Hellraiser Legacy gonna cost you. Might cost you a little, might cost you a lot, but it's gonna cost you. it's like because that's my life's work that I've been digging throughout all the years. I gotta manually upload these documents, put them in the categories, do this, do that. Like, no. So by all due respect, everybody gonna pay their way. You know what I'm saying? So $25.
Time is valuable.
Yeah.
Time is valuable.
Yeah, my time.
We can't get that back.
Nope.
Exactly. My energy is everything. My time, my energy, I can't get that back. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it will always be a donation, a commitment to the Hellraiser Legacy. And I'm glad the old one vanished, so I can get rid of all the people that's in that serious. You know, and we gonna keep building. And they see I answer everybody's question in there. Everybody's question in there. You can do without. You know what I'm saying? So now, okay. So we also have the PANU network and GroupMe groups or whatever. That's for free. So now it's like somebody used the excuse about the $25 a month. I don't really want to pay that. This is that. Okay. What about why are we not in the free networks? That the free networks is more dead than the paid networks.
All right.
I'm trying to figure out like what are people doing? Like what are they doing? Like really? Like what are you doing? What are you doing with your life where you say you want this, but you're not involved?
Right.
I don't get it.
All right.
But
people want handouts.
It's the people that have the biggest problems though. They have the biggest issues and the people that's the most confused. Ain't nowhere in the world I'm not showing up to no free conferences. I'm gonna be there every time.
No doubt about that.
And I'm respect the individuals that's hosting it time and respect their energy. I'm not exempt. I still pay for processes, paperwork, books. I still invest in other people that give seminars. I still sit in people's classes learning. What makes you think anybody else?
It's an ongoing process of learning, Chad.
I'm never gonna stop.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm busy. I'm in school, so I don't got time to be doing this stuff. Like My YouTube channel about to be slowing down very soon. Like I don't got time. It's dreadful to me to keep up with it. But it's like
you don't like that. Well, you know you're doing what you like to do. So,
I really don't like doing the videos. I don't.
Yeah, you're doing so well.
No, I don't. It don't feel like it. It feel like I just be pushing it out because I just be having to get it out and get it done. It's like a hard.
Man, get you a shot of vodka and keep doing what you do.
No, you doing good, bro. You doing good.
Yes, you will.
You doing good. You
I
helping.
know you if I didn't see you on YouTube.
Yep. You helping those that wanna learn and seeking the information, because a lot of people want handouts, man. But it you know, those they gonna suffer. They gonna fail. You gotta want this. Like I told somebody, no, this ain't for everybody.
No, it's not.
This is not for everybody. It can be overwhelming, the amount of information at times, but you gotta just take it a little bit at a time. A little bit at a time.
Yep.
But yeah, you helped me through a lot of this stuff, man. Just, you know, being able to go on YouTube and access some of this information, because it's a lot of mixed information out here, man. You got people trolling, people giving the wrong information, taking stuff from somebody else and rearranging it, man. It's crazy. But it's only a few that's actually, you know, that care enough to give the proper information.
You gotta just keep studying, and you know, pray about it too. You know, before you hit that button at night, you know, or send that mailing out. You know, put the voodoo on the envelope and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, the frankincense and myrrh. Yeah.
Oh Lord. Oh, that's right. Put that magic on it.
Oh, what y'all doing here? Y'all want to hear my testimony? I beat the red light ticket.
Oh yeah.
Throw it out there. Go on, throw it out there.
I did it with the Constitution.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I went to the hearing with the village, KMS City, and I got to hollering about the Constitution. They wanted to escort me out. They say you need to file an appeal. So I filed an appeal. Okay, and somebody else was telling me I should have filed it as an indigent person, no fee.
Yeah.
So you got to do the electronic filing, but you put the Constitution in there. You put take judicial notice, and that certified Trizzy versus Pagliaro. So when I went to court, KMS City didn't show up. So ain't nobody asked me no questions or nothing. You know, they had me wait till the next court, you know, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. They ain't do nothing. The judge wrote up the order to vacate it, and that was it.
Yeah.
Because I had the right paperwork.
Yeah. And you showed up and stood on it.
So you gotta study, y'all. Y'all doing great.
Yeah.
You too, Hellraiser and Miss Christie.
Yeah, because regardless how much information they give away free, you're gonna have to learn how to stand on your own.
You still gotta learn how to stand on your own.
You gotta learn how to. Oh, what's them poor people? That poor child. She went to court and got caught with that video, that recorder. Who is that child? She got caught with the recorder, and the judge wrote her up as Jane Doe and gave her back her phone.
Wow.
And that girl went to court.
Yeah, she went back to court. Oh man.
You know what? Y'all need to tell that child. She on lockdown for 10 months.
Right.
All she got to do is stop. God want her to study.
Yeah, they got a house arrest for that.
Yeah. But study. She ain't got nothing else to do but study. So when she walk out that door next time, she gonna be ready for him.
The thing that had me cracking up about that story is when she was telling the story, she was saying that I was telling the judge that she ought to be ashamed of herself for treating people, writing all these camera tickets. And she gonna drop her head. I said, when she dropped her head, she was thinking about all the ways she about to get you.
Yes, she was. When they make you wait, they trying to figure out what they gonna do with you.
And she wrote on a piece of paper and called her Jane Doe and gave it to the lady. The lady took the paper and came back to court.
Wow.
Man. Yep.
She had a window of opportunity to leave the court.
Yep. Had her get a free jail card, and she, but y'all
So-
tell the child
so
she should be studying her butt off.
So when the bailiff when the bailiff caught her with the audio recorder device, the judge told her, "You know, this is like bringing a gun into my courtroom."
Mm-hmm. There are rules.
But do you know why that rule is there?
Why?
It's not a gun. It's a gun against them in a sense where you're recording something. You know, if there's not a public recorder there, they can do anything they want to. So that's actually real evidence, and they don't want you to have real evidence.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Exactly.
And then in some courts you got to get permission, to record.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. But that's prima facie evidence. That's just like requesting a transcript from a regular court. That's one of the things you got to have to make an appeal. You have to have what was said in the courtroom. That's why they don't want that. If you don't have that, they can throw it out and remand it back down.
You can even bring your own public recorder if you want. They'll hate that. And that's
yeah. You can do a private one. I don't think it's too expensive. It might be $100, $130, but you can get a private. What they call them, the cuneigraphers, whatever they call.
Yep,
You have to get their permission.
$30 versus 5 years in jail or something, or even a month. That's worth it.
Well, I'll spend $35 for a button recorder.
Yeah, how about that?
Yeah.
I like that.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
What kind of recorder?
A button.
There's a will, there's a way. It's always
You said a booty recorder.
nah, not a booty.
But
Oh, okay.
What you say? Butt plug recorder? What?
really?
Yeah.
007.
Unbelievable.
On your button.
Oh, buddies. Okay, I got you.
I have one quick question. Seeing how everybody's trying to become what they originally are, national Americans, are you guys also connecting with anybody as far as doing revocation of election for taxes? Getting out of the tax system. Like you said, I don't know who's out here as an agent.
It's voluntary. It's voluntary, bro. Get into publication 1212 with trust. Get into publication 15B. I got a couple other documents on tax. It's just the way people talk about it. You don't have to pay taxes. You don't pay. You don't have to, but you can. It's all accounting. So you need to file. It didn't say you got to pay. It just says you have to file. This is for information and educational purposes only. You have to file, not pay. File. They want to know how much money to get back to you. And then you don't want to file in the individual capacity. You want to be a corporate fiction or file in a trust. Because the individual bracket is the lowest bracket you could be in filing. But all that is voluntary and it's all gifts. And it's all in the IRC code.
Volunteer. Every contract,
Everything's
in
voluntary.
the commercial world is all revolving around consent. They have to request our permission to be able to penalize us and hold us liable for whatever it is. So somewhere down the line on the contract, you agree to be a taxpayer. So we have to understand the difference between facts versus reality. So it's like it's a fact that income is not taxable and we don't have to pay taxes, but the reality of it is that even people you tell that to, they're still going to contradict themselves by still filing 1040s and W-2s and W-4s and all the other forms that make them liable to pay taxes. You can't still file them forms and say income is not taxable. I don't got to pay tax. You just signed something that said I'm obligated and liable to pay taxes, but off this number, this Social Security number. So it's real common sense. Like, to be honest with you, it's a gang of books and information. It's also a matrix inside of all this information.
Right.
Another objective of it being so much information out there, and then how they have all these books, all these, like we go to LexisNexis. You ever seen some of the UCC books cost $3-4 grand? It's like, get you to believe like you got to spend all this money to obtain all this information and wisdom to understand this system, or you get all these books, you start getting book drunk and word drunk, you start drowning in between the words to the point you're not getting the message and the concept. You know, it's like if you understand the concept of things, you're able to move on to the next phase and the next page without getting stuck on that and not knowing how to have enough confidence to actually execute what you're reading. You know, or you got people that read. I'll read 10 books a week. What can you execute off from 10 books a week that you're reading now?
Exactly.
I don't gotta read 10 books a week. I'm a meditate my energy to drive me to certain material that I need to know to do what I need to do in my life. Period.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna throw away the rest. Once I learn that, I'm gonna forget about it. So you gotta allow yourself. You gotta allow the mind room to receive more. We don't have unlimited storage. Get the point and then move on. That's it.
So I agree with you when you say it's voluntary, but just another thing for everybody, every single system is voluntary, everything. From what I've gathered, even when you go into court, you're actually voluntarily putting yourself into jail, into prison.
True.
You're supposed to be, you're the only living thing in that courthouse. Everything else is
everything else fictitious. Yeah.
So
you're the only living thing in that courthouse until you admit that you're not.
Exactly.
Until you agreed until you said yes when they asked you, are you John Smith? Oh, okay, thanks, John Smith. Now we may proceed.
Yep.
Proceed with you in this corporate fiction status that you just admitted to being.
Yep. So that's another thing that people need to gather is how to conduct themselves in the courthouse and who they actually really are. You don't have a name at all, in no degree. Anything you see in all uppercase letters is not you. And every court document with your name on it, which is, once again, I say your name, it's not your name, it's in all uppercase letters, which is making you a fiction. So people need to be aware of that. Even when you put motions in, you're actually putting the ball in play in the courtroom, which is just another place to play.
Right.
And you're in the game. So you got to even be cautious with that too.
Yeah. And I would say, I mean, just my opinion would be that you don't have to file either. That's voluntarily. I've never filed taxes in my life. So who's going to make me? I'm not going to. I'm not volunteering. So nobody's going to make me because I've never volunteered. So I think once you volunteer the first time, then you're in their system and then they're going to tell you have to file, right? I mean, I don't know.
No, it's just like, see, different contracts operate differently. On the tax realm, it's on a yearly basis. It's a yearly renewal of that because they cycle every year on whatever income you get on that 1 year. They cycle that every year. Every year you got to reapply and refile every year. So if you filed last year and you didn't file out any W-2, W-4s, 1040s, the following year you're not obligated to pay taxes for that year. You know, simple as that. So it's like, it depends on the reality of your life structure. It's like, first of all, I don't receive payments. You know what I'm saying? I don't get paid for anything. You know what I'm saying?
Donations.
Yep.
I mean, it's all about.
Yeah, lawful money. I mean, we have the option. We have the option to choose on the either side on the dollar bill. There's the two sides. I mean, we can choose 12 USC 411 on any transaction. And actually, my ex-husband had a contractor's business, and he had been filing taxes all along. And then the 1 year he decided to start claiming everything that came in on his checks, every payment under 12 USC 411. And he had filed the first quarter even on that year. And then he didn't file anything else. In the following year, we got a letter from IRS saying, your request has been received or something. And there was a refund for that first quarter that he had paid that last year because he started claiming, all he did was started claiming everything under 12 USC 411. That's it.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Gifts and donations.
Yep.
There's a lot of things. So even when you get direct deposit, anything that they make easy is a trap.
You're right.
So direct deposit is a trap. I've now starting to get a paper check and stamp it on the back, you know, deposit for lawful money. There's also something else, and I'm just making a non-taxable event. So
Yep.
that's working for me. Plus, I did a revocation of election for taxes. So I'm not paying anymore either.
No, you're right about that. We fall for convenience all the time, just like paperless billing.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that would be beneficial to everybody also, and people wouldn't be so scared of the class if they knew they was actually gonna get something back out of it as far as back into their pockets. So to get $25, I don't think it'd be an issue for anybody if they're not paying 30%.
Exactly.
30%, sorry. To an entity that's just beating them over the head at the same time for their donation.
So the Treasury actually has two sides. I mean, there is the fiat, but if you look at the dollar bill,
Yep.
see the green side, see the black side?
Right.
Yep.
Right there, that's the public side, and the living man has his back to this side. See? Here's the green side. Green stands for life. The living man's facing this way. That's under 12 USC 411. This is the 14th Amendment citizen side. So if you don't claim that, you're under assumption you're on this side automatically.
What's the code number?
12 USC 411.
12 USC 411. I gotta write that.
So what I do is I get
411?
Yes, I get a rubber stamp. And what I do is I say on there, redeemed in lawful money on the first line. The second line, I say pursuant to 12 USC 411. The third line, I say by, and I have my name as the trustee. And the fourth line, I say DBA, and I have my 98 trust name on there.
Sweet.
Chris, can you go to the first two first? Can you do the first two one more time?
You want me to put it in the chat?
Yeah, that'd be.
Yeah,
I don't know how to hit the chat.
All right, just get a rubber stamp. You just need a 4-line rubber stamp.
4-line rubber stamp.
Yep.
4-line rubber stamp. How the fuck are you getting the chat?
Yeah, just click chat at the bottom.
Are you on your phone or are you on a computer?
I'm on my phone. I got my computer's. I'm actually editing right now. And
It becomes a hologram if you're on your phone in the corner.
Yeah.
So you might have to play whatever over the bottom of it.
Not a problem. I know it's a 4-line rubber stamp. When she said on the first two, that's what I wanted to hear.
Yeah, and I put it in the chat there. You can handwrite it on there, but a stamp is really nice. It's just,
Yeah.
And there's stamps where you can actually do your signature and put it in that third line there. You can have the signature, sign it, and you just put it in there, and they'll actually have the signature on it, so you don't have to sign with ink every single time. It's inked on there, so you can do that as well. It's just super easy.
So when you're doing the stamp, you're saying you're stamping the check, right? The back of the check?
Yeah, right where you sign. Just stamp it.
Yeah, that's what I do. I don't sign it at all. I just stamp it.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
It didn't show up in the chat, Chris.
You only put the code in there. I don't know if you put the lines in there.
Oh, it went to somebody privately. Okay, sorry about that. I'm not sure why it did that. Okay, let me try this again.
So when you stamp your checks like this, it makes it a non-taxable event also.
Non-taxable.
When the IRS asks you, you had income, with that on the back of every check that you send in, you did not have any income because you just rebutted their assumption that you got income.
Yeah, it's not, lawful money is not income. Income is only income can only be on this side over here. This is the only side that applies to income. This side does not. This is lawful money, no income. So anything, if you have a business, if any of you have your own business, I suggest that you have something posted in the business, if it's one where people walk in, or if you have a website, put it on your website. Anything, your customers, anything you send invoices to your customers, say right on there, redeemed, all exchanges are redeemed or are pursuant to 12 USC 411. Have it right on everything. Your invoices, your website, your business, have it in there. Because any contract you do with anybody, if you have it stated right on there, there's no way that they can ever say, oh, you had income. No.
Exactly. Okay.
Can I need I don't know how to get into this chat so I can get that what you just said, Chris. I need that what you just said.
Okay, if you go on your screen, on the bottom, there's a little, in the center, there's a little icon that says chat. Do you see that on the bottom center? You have to hover over it before it'll show up.
Nah, I'm on my computer. I mean, on my phone.
Okay. Well, it's
not
there
showing
too.
up.
Hold on, I'm gonna try something.
Can you do a screenshot? Oh, there you go. Yeah, you're getting it on there. Just wait. Redeemed and lawful money.
Is that backwards? You should be able to see that, right? I just put that on.
All right, hold on.
Yep.
Or Alan, just touch your screen and the option should pop up at the bottom. If you touch your screen.
I did it already, bro. It didn't come up. I need to see that brother thing. I did it already. It still won't show up.
So it's redeemed and lawful money on the first line.
Redeemed and lawful money, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and if you guys want to, I mean, we have a company that we get the stamps. We can actually start offering them if you want that. It's
yeah, I need it.
Yeah,
that's the second one, Chris.
Very important. Everybody should have it.
Whatever you guys want. I mean, you can email ANPC orders and we can put that together because we do have a company that we use for that.
Hey, what is the second one, Chris?
So when you do this, guys and ladies, you have to stop direct deposits. You have to stop direct deposits. You got to get a paper check. When they mail it, you stamp this on the back. I don't even sign my name, and just deposit it. And
Are you talking about a direct deposit from like if you're employed?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
I just canceled that and got paper check.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I need number 2. I got one. I need number
That's
2.
Pursuant to 12 USC 411.
Pursuant to 12 USC 411. All right, got it.
And then the third line is by, and then you have your, you just sign your signature, how you are as trustee, however you are as trustee.
Right. Okay. And then you just put the trustee name down there, like the the semicolon and all that type of dash and everything.
No, you don't need to do the semicolon on that because we're not working with the living, really. We're kind of working with layers.
Gotcha.
I mean, it depends on how you have yours set up. But mine, I'm working with layers of different entities. I mean, I've got a simple trust in my name as well. So if anybody ever comes back and says, "Oh, is that you?" No. I have umpteen other EINs on that name, so I can use any of them, anything.
Gotcha.
So then the fourth line says DBA, and then it's a semicolon, and then your trust, like John Doe TR.
Right.
You're always
DBA
doing business.
And then your trust.
Yes.
Okay. Got it. I got it. So if I have that stamp, I'd love to have the information how to get that stamp.
Well, you can just go online and go to some rubber stamp places and order one if you want, or like I said, if enough members want us to, we can offer that as well. It's just optional, whatever you guys want.
I mean, I would rather buy it from you. I mean, keep the money in-house instead of out-house.
Yeah, and I was thinking what we're going to need to start doing is, as many of us as possible need to start our own businesses once we get established to where I want you all to be thinking about this. Because every single one of you on here has a skill that you can do that you could become your own boss, and you don't have to have an employer. And that's really what we want to work toward. We want to be free, sovereign, independent, and everything. We don't need to be working for somebody else.
Right.
Work for yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
So be thinking about that, and what can we do? How can we do this? And I think Hellraiser is a good one to talk to about how you can finagle things to get funding for starting your own business. I mean, talk to this guy.
Yeah.
He's got it.
Yeah.
I got a question about the rubber stamps and whatnot.
Yes.
Do you have to be working under your 9(8) to even, to do that as far as the whole?
No. You're just claiming it. You're just making a statement. Oh, I'm doing business as this.
Okay.
I do the 9 to 5, and I filled out the tax forms and whatnot, but I just I don't be giving them shit, truthfully.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, because I can't imagine unless you're making so much money a year, I can't imagine somebody taking $300 and $400. That's fucking insane.
Yes, it
My
is.
language.
Mhm.
Oh, that's good to know though that I could just snap it. And I don't have to be under my 9.8 because I got one, but I never put it in no system. I just got it.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess the object is to just when we sign and just make sure we don't have liability.
Well, and those of you that have your 98 trust, you could go open up, if you can open up a bank account with that 98 trust, then you're going to be depositing the check in that account anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
They just don't want to know what name it's going to be under. But
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I got to learn a little bit more about that. I'm gonna start that prep course. Actually.
My 98 in my name.
Yeah. Definitely.
I did 98 also in my name, and my trust is also set up like that. But in my trust indenture, you could specify that you are doing business as this name, even though the trust may have a name in itself.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys have a specific trust set up? Because I know it's different kinds. I know you have your private, your revocable, your irrevocable. Is it a certain?
The master trust usually irrevocable.
Yeah,
Irrevocable.
the master trust has to be an irrevocable foreign grantor. It's got to be done a certain way, otherwise, yeah.
Even for vehicles and stuff like that, it'll be irrevocable.
No, the vehicle is opened under the irrevocable trust opens a revocable one for the fact that if you want to sell it, then you can do that.
You could do, okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay.
So I guess it's exactly the same thing the government did. Like our social security number would be considered the main 98 trust. I'm just saying this for a graph. Your social security number would be the 98 trust, and then when you do LLCs under that social security number, those will be like the 82s, the 82 trust, which is under it, but your social security is the main one. So your 98 will be the main one, and everything up under it.
And yes, and as well as a 508, the 508 mandatory exception, that should be opened. That's going to be layered under there as well. The 508 is, Hellraiser, you should tell them about what we found out on all these banks. What was the word they were calling them that were under associations? What was it called? It was
was it charitable something?
It was, yeah, but what was it was a weird word they were calling them, that association. We found out that as far as we can see, the banks are all opened up under ministries. They're claiming to be ministering to the humanity. And so
that's crucial.
That's crazy.
What y'all talking about is that the I don't know if I'm saying it right. I know you have the 501c3, but you also have the 50818.
508.
Yeah, the 508. And that's the one that is actually non-domestic, but you still.
I know. Yes. It's got a mandatory exception, and that's what we're finding. And I was telling somebody today, I said, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if the jails and the prisons are under 508 ministries.
Nah, that's really what I'm seeing. It's like that's what we got to really look deep and see how these people are established, or how these agencies are established. Just like I was telling you guys about the Uniform Commercial Code Division, they kept on correcting the record, like saying we're not an agency, we're not a foreign agency, we're not a corporation. You know what I'm saying? We are the state of Washington Uniform Commercial Code. I'm like, what are you talking about? What are it's like they're their own so in essence, if they don't fall up under any law, statute, or jurisdiction of the states or the government, state or federally, that means they operate as their own independent nation, damn near.
Yep.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Because you ask them, so what rules do you follow up under? Our rules, they say.
Yep.
The Washington State Uniform Commercial Code. That's what we follow under. I'm like,
that's
right. You be like, out there. Okay, I get it now. That's exactly how we have to establish our house. You know, that's exactly how we need to establish our house.
Yep.
You observe and then go and do likewise. That's what you do.
Yes.
Exactly.
That's so.
Yeah. I found that out the hard way because I was talking about when they was trying to take my home, and you know they don't use the sheriff anymore to come kick you out, right? They use an office that's delegated through the court, and that's how they get around it. So I start coming at them with federal lawsuits, you know, with federal procedures. So they put me in front of their director, and they was basically just trying to see where my head is at. But it came down to it was private, and they could do whatever they wanted under that jurisdiction. It's crazy, man. And that's why you got to go to the federal. You got to pose that federal question because they have a political questions, then they have federal questions, then they have commercial questions. So you got to understand which one you're going after when you go in court because they'll wrap you up with that. It's weird, man.
Hey, Chris.
Yes.
Is the DBA, is that all caps or that's the lowercase, the living person?
The DBA is all caps. That's a trust. The DBA is an all caps, like your John Doe Trust, PR.
Got it. I'm doing it right now. That's why I wanted to know.
Alan, I put it in your message on the Hellraiser V3, the mighty one that we were talking on.
Yeah. Okay.
I inboxed it to you. So exactly how she typed it, I inboxed it to you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Excuse me, Chris, I got another question.
Okay.
When I was doing my work documents for taxes and whatnot, I have filed, I guess, the W-4. Do I have to change forms or something? Like, I don't know, a WABN or something else?
Well, so far, once we found that once you're entered into that system as you are, it's so hard to change. I mean,
yeah.
One of our team worked for a couple years fighting that thing, he was working for the railroad. He was a conductor, and he tried so hard to get that they wouldn't, because once they have it, they're not going to back down because they want that.
The tax benefit.
So yeah, basically he retired, and then he's like, well, if I get a side job, I'm just going to go and start out from the bottom up with my 98 and the W8. It's not a W8 ban. It's just a straight W8 that you use.
Oh, okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, the W8, W7, all those things all go together with the foreign national. The 1040 NR is the non-resident alien form. You can actually file with your 98 trust by claiming. Some people are using it to claim back grocery receipts and things that you purchase under the trust. We should be. Some people in some states are having no problem using their 98 trusts, and they're getting tax exempt cards even from the state to where they can make all their purchases under that and not have to pay tax.
Oh man, that's sweet. Yeah, that's good right there.
Hey Chris, ain't that the reason for that's another reason for the 508 also, right?
Yeah, the 508 is also supposed to be, that's a mandatory exception. So yeah, some states, I know different states, they're doing that. That's not a problem, but for some reason in the state I'm at, I don't know, they're hiding everything. I can't find a thing. So I was just going to the stores and asking them for a form and getting by, and now they finally just said, I don't think we have you on file. And I'm like, I might maybe have to go to another store and try for a while until they catch on to me.
That's trial and error. The more we get people doing this stuff, the more you can see, you know, what works, what don't work. Then everybody comes to a platform, share your ideas, right? You know, take the meat, spit the bone out.
We definitely need that, but we need people that understand how to play the role and how not to play the role.
True,
true. Not people that's gonna go in there and blow up the spot. people that know how to go in there and play devil's advocate to get the answers they need without doing too much. You know?
Yes, and the biggest mistake people make is talking too much, plain and simple.
Yeah, it
You
is.
don't go in there and just you'll just ruin your opportunity. You go in there and say as little as possible.
So I think the key is, from what I hear, is do not make statements. You're supposed to ask questions. You know, as we are kings and queens, we're supposed to ask questions.
Ask king.
We're not supposed to just be running off at the mouth, talking. The other thing that would kind of be useful for everybody is to understand that you don't have a driver's license. You do not have a street address. You do not have a zip code. You do not have a social security number. That social security number belongs to Social Security team. Your address belongs to the post office. So, you know, even I've heard people say, you know, when they get pulled over, they give their license and the cop will turn around and look at it and say, "Is this you?" And if you say, "Yeah, that's you," then guess what? You just said you're a piece of paper.
Yeah, and what you just said about the address, there's something interesting that I heard somebody just recently told me that they did. And what they did was once they did the perfected title, then they took a change of address form from the post office and they took the straw man with the last address that was known that had been attached to a driver's license or social security card. And they did a change of address and they changed it back to the state, the Department of Vital Records in the state they were born, the state that issued the birth certificate. Now they did a change of address and put it through the post office. So now guess what? Any bills that go to that straw man or charges goes to the Vital Records where it belongs.
Damn.
That's
some gruesome game.
Yeah, that was.
Because the perfected title package, when we do that, we're basically turning it back. Okay, so why not change the address then? Why not just, hey, any bills that you're going to charge on that straw man, any warrants, everything gets now, all mail goes to the Department of Vital Records where they created that straw man.
Yeah, it's not true.
You make them the registered agent. That's what they call it. You're making them the registered agent.
Well, we turned the
No. We're the registered agent.
Yeah.
Well, I'm saying in the sense that when they're sending you bills, you want them to go back to the state.
Yeah, because
that's the executive office.
We turned the reversionary interest back. So now make sure the bills go where we turn, make sure they go back.
Yeah. Well, that's in accordance with Harold Reed was saying about the problem at UCC about the governor being one of the debtors on the actual files.
It all depends on what you're doing.
Yeah, that's when you're doing a lien on somebody. That's what got the Montana Freedmen in trouble, was putting the government on the UCC. That's what got people in trouble.
No, I'm talking about UCC one filing in Washington. I'm talking about the initial filing. I'm not talking about anything else.
Well, it depends on how you do it. If you're doing a lien and you don't have the standing to do a lien because you haven't done the proper process, no, you can't do that. So rather than do a lien, why don't you set it up and do it as a fee schedule? No, you're in a contract with them. Don't do a lien. Do it as a contract.
Yep.
I mean, you start liening some of these places, you can get in trouble, but not if you're writing it up as a contract.
Yep.
I ain't much into the lien thing. I'm just trying to get some clarity on. That's it.
Now, see, when they was talking about the governor, people was having problems filing the informational filings in their state. So, but that was earlier. That's before I realized that the acknowledgement section is for us to send the acknowledgement to these other individual states. The acknowledgement section at the top. So
Wow.
So we use that to send our acknowledgements to the states, whether they accept the filing or not. They have to accept it if they get an acknowledgement from Washington State.
Yeah.
So the acknowledgement section is for us. We're up under the assumption that we're supposed to put our names right there, so they can send the acknowledgement of the filing back to us because it's our filing. No, the acknowledgement goes to who we need to send acknowledgement to based on that particular filing.
Yeah.
Well, I would just when you broke down the Washington how to file, I filed that verbatim, and in there you talked about the governor. So that's what I did. I put the governor down as secondary.
As a secondary on what?
On the UCC one file. I'm gonna pull up here. I'm on my computer now.
Instead of making it the person, make it the office of governor.
Yes, you're right.
Well, he's still a corporation. Remember that. He's not operating in his private capacity. He's DBA doing business as governor.
Right.
So that's correct. So when you put if you want to make every secretary of the United States a debtor, technically they are, because they're part of the corporation that's bankrupt, that's in debt.
And when you come in as fully solvent and a freeholder on the land, you're backed by silver. You're solvent. So now guess what? You're the solvent one and they're the debtors.
Yeah, making that's not putting a lien on that on his corporation or him in the private. That's just notifying, giving public notice of his proper standing and yours. You're the debtor, and they're the debtors. Period. Now, if you put them in the collateral and literally say I put a commercial lien against such and such operating as DBA governor of Louisiana, blah, oh yeah, now you're putting, that's the leaning process down there in the collateral. But other than that,
yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm saying this was just the initial file. I mean, me personally, I'm not really into the lien thing. You feel what I'm saying to you? So I'm not really getting into all that. I'm gonna sue you.
Yeah, I don't mess around with leaning up people and stuff like that. I know people be talking about putting liens on. I put liens on my properties.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna lean my properties up, but I'm not gonna but I mean it could boil down to it, but that's like the last result. You know what I'm saying? Is we have to actually lean a judge up or lean because unlawful arrest, and sometimes we got to push the button on these are the the lethal weapons that we use up under certain conditions. But we should commercial liens has nothing to play with. If you don't do them right and you don't do them in a proper fashion by putting them in default correctly, that is penalties and liabilities that come across in return from that.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm with you on that. I'm following you 100%. I just know that, I mean, when I was in prison, these cats leaked up they took the warden's house. And I was still trying to figure out, how do you have a damn life sentence? You took the damn warden's house. What the hell did that prove? Nothing.
Yeah, it don't do nothing. Because, hey, wasn't we doing that anyway? Like in that debtor position, you wanted to make your straw man the debtor. So when they send you that file back, it'll show you, the living man, as a secure party, and it'll show your straw man name as the debtor.
Exactly.
Yeah, I got all that. I mean,
which is what it is anyway. You just put it on paper. That's the way it is.
Yeah.
But we feel you, bro. We ain't saying you did it wrong enough. We just feeding off of what you was talking about.
Oh, because I was about to say, if I did something wrong, then I'm following the wrong person then.
Nah. We just feed this for new people too, because that a lot of people mix processes, and we're just trying to get everybody right back on the straight and narrow with the right knowledge.
If you don't fully explain, people left to assume. So that's what we clarifying. If it's for everybody else that's listening.
No doubt.
Because still, probably only 15% of people know what the purpose of filing the initial UCC filing for is. They spend some monetary gain and some stuff. Has nothing to do with that.
Yeah, it's all for standing. All for standing.
And also, paperwork is there's no magic paperwork, because if they pull you into court or pull you over, if you don't know how to talk,
exactly.
Like you said, if you don't what did you say? If you don't assert your rights, you have no rights.
Yeah, one who fails to assert their rights has none.
Exactly.
That's the spiritual side.
Contracts and contractors, so the right to contract is limitless. So that is one contract you corrected. So they're going to continue to try to contract. Them pulling you over is a new opportunity for them to contract.
That's right.
So if you don't know how to manage that, the interaction between you and this agent, this contractor, to avoid him from contracting you, you're gonna get contracted.
No doubt.
Another contract. That's separate. That ticket is a whole nother contract. You know what I'm saying? You can choose to accept it, or you can choose to do whatever you need to do to get rid of it. or
Well,
not to be liable for it.
Well, I hope. I mean, you know, when I'm almost to the correct standing, it'd be a shame, you know, going into the courtrooms as a criminal. When I was a criminal, I didn't give a damn who was in the courtroom. They used to shackle me because I used to cuss everybody out. But now going in with the right information, they better never pull me and take me to court. They're gonna be bad as a motherfucker with me because I don't care.
Yeah, that's how it should be.
Like I'm just telling you straight up and down. Like I have no regard for them people like that. I don't. I just don't. I've been in prison all my life. I don't really care about nothing. So having the correct knowledge and going in the correct standing, oh, they in trouble.
Yeah. It's just all in how you come. You can still be respectful and give them that word with a smile on your face.
I don't
you know, you've been in it. You got a different perspective than us, and I'm not saying that's wrong at all. Because I mean,
that's just how. Listen, how you roll. You want to be. I'm just a different person when I go in there. I'm just an animal with it because I already know you did wrong, and I got you. So this is how we gonna play it. And if we gotta go to prison, it's okay. But guess what? I'll get you in the long run. This process.
I don't want to sit down though. I don't.
Man, it's part of the process. Some soldiers got to get killed. Some soldiers got to be sacrificed in order for the other people to go. Everybody can't go to war. You know what I mean? Some people got to stay home. I'm one of them type people. I'm a front line type dude. So if you're gonna put me on, let's get it.
I feel you. I'd rather be the general and conduct what we gonna do. Meet your enemy where they are not.
Just make sure I get out of jail. That's all. You good?
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying. Everybody in here, based on your skin alone, you a target.
Exactly.
You don't think you're in a war. Guess what? You're stupid or you're sleeping. I don't know where you at.
Oh yeah.
You're in a war.
We in there.
Yeah.
Right now.
Right
now.
Even though this is private.
As much as you don't want to get killed, guess what? You might just.
Yeah, you might just. Make sure you're right when you go. That's all.
Yeah. You can't be afraid to die and be doing all of this process. I mean, I sent stuff to the governor, Secretary of Revenue. I'm waiting for my doorbell to ring every day, and I'm like, I'm not even stressing it. It's like
I ain't tripping.
Yeah.
Long
What
as
do
you
you
did it
want?
right. Long as you did it right, and once you know the law, it don't matter who come to your door. You know your jurisdiction, and that's one thing they don't play with. They don't play with jurisdiction. I don't care what nobody say. Period.
Yeah, but I've also heard that jurisdiction is also all in your mind. You know, they have no jurisdiction over you. You're a man. They're fiction. So for you to even answer any questions that they ask you, it's like, get out of my face. You know, today they're a judge, tomorrow they get fired, but they put you in jail for 20 years the day before. How is he even your judge? You only got one judge. He's up in heaven.
Yeah.
Nobody is your judge.
Look,
Nobody.
y'all still got to remember, we spiritual beings having an earthly experience.
Yeah,
And you got to be in
but they can't kill the soul.
You got to be in rhythm with, you know, who your God is superior, who walks with you.
I know that.
Telling you,
I
it
agree with
really
that.
will help.
But our God, that's another thing. Nobody here is afraid of their God. They're afraid of police. They're afraid of the government.
I don't get it. I don't get that.
Everybody's afraid of them.
I ain't afraid of it.
I'm not.
I would say you all are. I don't mean that with all
I went to
respect.
Target yesterday and the lights went out. I could have had all kind of stuff up in my coat. You know, I don't do that no more. You know, the security thing. I was like, whoever's doing something, they get the free house.
Hey, sound like Miss Hattie. Y'all know who Miss Hattie is? That's who she sound like, Miss Hattie.
Hey.
Okay, I'm gonna shut up. I'm sorry, y'all.
Okay.
The brother said, right? The brother with the glasses, your name, brother?
Tony.
Tony. I just wanted to piggyback off that. I feel you on that because I see a lot of brothers and sisters who get into this process, and then as soon as they get in the process, they get to get shaking like, well, what about this and what about that? But then the same dudes or the same girls, whatever, out there shooting people, selling dope, doing anything. But as soon as they get in front, they got to talk. Everybody freezes up.
Yeah.
And
You're
see,
right.
This what kills me. You can punch me in my head or shoot me down or shoot my people down or anybody down. But when you get in front of white people or in front of the courtroom, you like this.
scared.
Yeah.
That's a good slave.
Yeah.
That's the best. That's a good slave.
Yeah.
But once you know who you are, the fear goes away.
Huh?
Once you know who you are, the fear goes away.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be real with you.
Yes, with your heavenly Father, girl.
I'm
Yes.
gonna be real with you, right? I'm just coming to secure party creditor. I studied in federal prison, but let me explain something to you. I knew I was when I was a kid as a man. My stepfather raised me to be a man. So when I go in the courtroom, I don't bow my head down like I was down. How people had their head down, this talking to people, or I don't do none of that. Anybody talk, you talk to me in my eyes, and I don't give a fuck who he is. Cause nobody. And listen, if you ain't gonna put me down, I'm gonna say what I gotta say out of my mouth. Whether you arrest me or don't arrest me, you gonna hear what I got to say. I'm a man.
I get it, but I think everybody is I've been learning a lot of stuff about the court, and it's not what we think it is. When you sit there and you walk into the bar, you're putting the ball in bounds, and you're playing that game. You can say, yeah, it's a theater. You don't have to go up there.
Yeah, it's a big game. You're right.
The minute you walk into that box, you are now the defendant, unless you let them know that you're there on special appearance.
Special appearance. You don't even have to go in a courtroom. You can do that before you even go on the special appearance.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go on a special appearance. I don't want to write with them. I want to be in the courtroom. I want to look through your eyes. Not me. I want to hear me. I ain't no punk, and I ain't scared of none of them punks. They punks to me.
They're not even fictions. They're not even alive.
It's a game.
It's a game.
You know the dog. You know dogs can smell fear. That's all they want to do. Once they smell fear, they own you. If you show no fear, they know.
Yeah.
But when you walking there as a man, you gonna hear the whole rhythm. If you walking as a man and or a woman, and you got the right tools to talk to them as secure party creditor, they gonna shut up and keep moving.
Also, just another tip. Anytime if you're going into the court, as you said, challenging jurisdiction, you cannot answer or do anything the judge tells you to do. Nothing. If the judge says, go over there and have a seat while I think about this, and you go over there and have a seat, you just obey the command.
All you have to do is say, well, I'm going to have a seat.
Yeah, that's right. Of my own free will. I'm not doing this based on you telling me. So you just got to be aware. Every question he asks you, you ask him a question.
Ask a question.
Yeah.
So,
are you so-and-so? You know?
So for the record, can anybody tell me what's the purpose of going to court?
I can't hear you.
To get paid.
There's no purpose.
There's no purpose.
Really. Once your standing is in place, there's no reason for you to be in court.
To get paid.
If we do go to court, what's the sole purpose of us showing up?
Because they got our property. You need to let them know you got my property and you owe for that. Point blank, period.
It's just like bro said, you can't argue jurisdiction in the court.
No.
It contradicts itself.
You give them
create a controversy.
That's right.
If you fall into argument, you fall into jurisdiction.
Yep.
Right. If you fall into conversing and debating about the circumstances they're talking about that's on that paper, you fall into jurisdiction.
That's right.
You're there to settle the matter.
Exactly. Well, exactly. As in your proper standing, your proper status. As who? You're the executor. You're the owner.
Trustee.
Beneficiary.
You're the queen. However you want to present. You're the flesh and blood man. You're the
Exactly.
flesh and blood woman. The only reason we go into court is to show proof of life. It's to say, walk in, smile, say hi, I'm alive and well. That's it. That's all. That's it. That's all.
Because they want you to argue. They love people that come there to argue.
That's why they call it a special guest appearance.
Exactly.
You make a special guest appearance every time, if you do have to go to court. You know what I mean?
And that word is the sword, baby.
For sure.
Bible and Constitution, what I'm learning, y'all.
Yeah, I do want to say this though too to everybody. Everything that Chris and Razor are explaining to everybody as far as operating with the trust, you guys have to understand what status that puts you at. So that's why you have that. That's why you operate the way you do. That's why you make special guest appearances, because it's like coming to America. Think about it. They throwing roses on the floor when you walking in because you're not on the same status as the slaves or the debtor. You are, you know what I mean? You're operating how everybody else is operating now. You know what I'm saying? If that makes any sense to anybody.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
But at any given time, you can slip and fall right back to that same status.
Yep. Right. Exactly. Exactly. And that's why it is tedious. You know what I mean? A lot of things are very tedious, but as long as you stay on point, and you operate in honor, everything will go smoothly.
The courtroom game, the game that's going on in court is a mental and spiritual chess match. That's it. It has nothing to do with no paperwork.
That's right. There's no bulletproof paperwork.
Not at all.
Yes.
You have to go. It's because when you get pulled over, you're not going to give him paperwork. It depends on what you say at that moment to what he says and what questions you say. And I've been thinking.
One thing you can do is a lot of our members have done that weren't real educated to begin with. We would tell them to say, "I stand on my paperwork," and that's it. Nothing more. I stand on my paperwork here. Just read, and
Right.
that works. You just have to. Yeah, your paperwork. The paperwork that you put in is the court. There's no court except the four corners of your paperwork. So your paperwork is the court.
Yep.
Right.
That's it. I mean, that's $100,000. See, so it's two different types of games we can choose to play as far as defense. We can operate. We can leverage off the paperwork and just go to court and stand on it because they're gonna ask you to explain. You can send in a 45-page document of every declaration you could think of. They still gonna ask you, so what does this mean? To get to see, just like play the same game they play with you, because you ask that court, that judge, so what am I supposed to do? And blah, he's gonna tell you, I can't give you legal advice.
Yeah, exactly.
Counsel, you see what I mean? So I'm not here to educate you.
Yeah.
If you don't understand what this means, you shouldn't be on this bench.
Well, yeah, if you don't, I always say, if you don't understand what this means, please contact your attorney. I am not your attorney. That's what I tell them.
Oh, that's sweet. That makes sense.
I stole that.
And see, bro.
That's what I tell them. I say, I'm not your attorney. Go contact your attorney.
Like that.
Hey, I came in different, bro. I ain't been on the defense yet. When I be speaking about court, I'm speaking offense. I initiated suit. So people that's why I was saying people gonna have to learn how to sue too, because that's also how you let them know that you're serious, and they ain't gonna want you in
first in line.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's definitely, you're right about that. We need to understand administrative process, and we need to know how to get our things on the record. So we need to understand the relationship with the clerk, between us and the clerk.
Right.
Us and the clerk and the post office. We need to understand how to in general file motions. And in general how to file lawsuits, because a lot of stuff that we actually may be winning on with certain agencies, if we send, and a lot of times you don't even have to sue. If you send some companies an intent to sue, but like I tell people, you have to dress it up and make it look like it's actual lawsuit, like make it look like a court order. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
On legal paper, make it, put the little commas and stuff. State of versus all that stuff. Make it look just like a court order.
Yep.
Get that joint notarized. Have you two witnesses. And they get that intent to sue would hold it like, whoa, this is serious. How the clerk send it to them? They really don't think it's real because now it really just came from the court or officer.
I missed that last part, brother.
That's how you do that.
You
stuff.
said intent to sue. I need to do that ASAP.
Because if it's fraud, if your defense is exposing the fraud of a corporation, they're never gonna show up in court to put that. They're never gonna show up in court. Guaranteed. They're never gonna show up to court. If you have evidence of fraud, they're never gonna show up. They're not gonna have a representative of central bank show up to. They're not gonna do that because especially if you have the evidence on the record already.
They just gonna hold you up in the courtroom.
You force these people playing in the public back into the republic by filing these things on the record, and then you do a withdrawal from that republic bank, order your certified copy of that filing, and then you have that clerk send that certified mail to the agency. See what happens then.
You'll see them moving. Once you start acting like you're gonna sue these companies, anybody, bro, I'm
They
seeing
think
it.
you for real though.
Man,
They don't think you for real if you send them a handwritten notice, even though it's power in the handwriting certain things. Though.
yeah, that's one of the best forms.
I wouldn't say that, but it depends. But if you one of the people that just like typing up some random stuff that don't have anything to back up any law, anything to back up what you're claiming, any evidence of fraud. You just type it. You just saying like it's against the law. Income is not taxable, and we shouldn't have to pay. I'm a secure party, and then you fold the paper up in a little white envelope, and you put a stamp on it, and you put it in the mailbox. They're gonna throw that stuff in the garbage. They're not gonna respect you. You're not for real, because you obviously don't understand. But if you go through and spend, they know you spent $20 for registered mail to send it to the CEO and president, and it's notarized with 2 witnesses. It's been sent by the also recorded in the record.
Man.
Nah, they don't. Nah, it's already. That means it's already in court. So your intent to sue is real because it's already in court because you put it on the record.
Right.
Period.
Hey, Razor, what did they say? They say enforcement.
Yep. And ain't that much to do.
You got to enforce. Man, they got us in the chokehold. It's time to maneuver and get them in one.
Start making them spend money on subpoenas or subpoena deuces tech them.
Exactly.
So $75 to file and had the sheriffs go out and send them
and do their job because they work for us. Remember that.
All work for us.
Or these people are nothing but free agents for one. It's like
Exactly.
it all depends on who's gonna hire them first.
Right.
They're free agents.
Right.
So we gonna let them know that we'll put the money up and we gonna hire them for us first. We ain't scared. We know how we can utilize these people in our defense as well.
Mm-hmm.
Hey man, they smart. These people now they ain't even tripping. Like with this foreclosure I'm in, when I'm finding out this little game like they doing, they don't really care about you appealing up to the federal court. They want to run the bill up because all this shit is insured.
Exactly. At the end of the day, it's a win-win situation.
Insured. They ain't tripping. They just want to see how far you gonna go.
Exactly, because they see that's another thing. That's another thing everybody needs to be aware of in these processes. They're gonna see if you're incompetent or not. They're gonna test you. They're gonna see what you know, what you don't know. And I forgot who mentioned that. Chris mentioned that. If you want to just be like, look, I stand on my paperwork. That's it. That's all. You can do that. If you want to be an animal about it and go crazy. But I wouldn't suggest that, but make sure that you're very precise on your approach, because that's really what it's all about. It's all about your approach.
Yeah, it's all about what you know, who you know.
Exactly. And that's not even in this process. That's in life in general.
Yeah,
it ain't what you know, it's who you know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, just.
The most important person to know is know who you are. That's really where it starts.
Of course. And
you're not a corporate fiction. You're not a 14th Amendment citizen. None of that. There's no law written for you besides the 10 Commandments. That's it.
Right.
And codes, bullshit.
Right. And me personally, going through this process, because I've been going through this process for like a little over a year now. As I'm going through the process and the things that you learn and things that you research and cross-reference, you find out who you are in the process.
Yep.
Okay, because you're learning certain things. You start cross-referencing certain things. You go to law books. You go to a simple book. Man, I done jumped from books that are 1,000 pages to a book that's 70. You know what I mean? So it's you find out who you are. Who you truly are, who the creator made you to be. We just putting ourselves back in that position because that is our God-given right to do so.
Yeah.
So when you say you jump from a book from 1,000 pages to a book that's 70, what's your mind frame when you did that? What it's like, because the mind is trained to go off size, like size matters, like
right.
biggest proceedings being better, right?
Yeah.
Or price. If something has cost more, it obviously must be better, right? So, so I see a lot of people lose themselves into these, like I say, into these books, and they get drowned between these words, and they miss,
definitely.
They miss the point, and then they don't get the picture. You see
Right.
what I mean? And it's like, or they just start regurgitating information and not truly understanding. It's like you can get a clear understanding of what's what on a small pamphlet, on a conversation you had with the postmaster when you went to go do your last mail order. You can just the answers is all over the place on a daily basis.
Right.
It could be the movie. It could be the movie you watched tonight. And the thing is that if everything is truly mental and spiritual, that means the spirit is always working and it's always giving you answers.
For sure.
Based on what you're trying to draw. Because
yeah, you
got to give back what you're putting out.
Yeah, you definitely got to have, you know, a strong discernment, you know what I mean, as far as where you want to go. And like with you and me, Razor, you know, like you've explained to me before, everybody's journey is different. Everybody's situation is different. Everybody has different objectives. So not everybody's approach is going to be the same. And a lot of people get that misconstrued because they think, oh, this is the step 1 through 10. You have to do it just like this, like this, like this. And it doesn't work like that. You know what I'm saying? Like when I was talking to Razor and, you know, explaining my situation and what I was trying to do, he explained to me straight out, like, look, bro, you on a different path than everybody. Our destination is all the same, but our path is a little different. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's why you need to know, you know what I mean? It's vital that, you know, you do the proper studying and that you do the proper cross references and don't get distracted because and this is a cool thing about studying. It'll also build a discipline within yourself so that you don't lose track as to what it is that you're actually trying to learn. You may have to juggle a couple books. You know, you may hit a roadblock, but you know, hey, that's just what's gonna happen, man. This is what you signed up for.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's all part of the game. But you know, you have to learn how to be disciplined because when you do get to that status and you go through the perfected title and now you're operating with the trust, you don't even understand what a level of discipline you have to act on at that level.
And responsibility you have.
You know what I'm saying? And like a lot of people get that misconstrued. Oh, when I start operating like this, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that.
No.
Okay, it don't work like that.
Right.
It doesn't work like that.
You build everything from scratch. You build everything from scratch.
Exactly. You have to teach it how to. You have to teach it how to.
You the secretary. You all of that.
You
trying to fire.
Everything.
Everybody's just trying to fire from this corporate world. You got to be now. So
right.
if you
Exactly.
was smart, you would align yourself around people that can act in that capacity that has that understanding. That's why it's valuable for you to learn off people's experiences around you.
Right, exactly.
Your brother and your sisters and we need the people. We need each other. I need you to have a different experience. I need to learn from you because everybody can't have the same experience because everybody's journey is different.
That's how we gonna build this nation. You know what I'm saying? Just so that if somebody was to have was put in the same position as somebody else, we have, you know what I mean, like you know, a guideline on how to go about it so that, you know, you can get yourself up out of it, whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? So I agree wholeheartedly, for sure.
Bro, can I say something? The whole ideal is we're gonna be trustees.
Right, exactly.
So if you ain't got a business mind in the first place, this is gonna be hard for you to grasp.
Absolutely.
That's off the bat. That's off the bat.
As being trustees, we supposed to have the knowledge on who to do things. We don't have to do everything. You just need to, with us being a nation and we got all these different, we got contractors over here, we got lawyers over here, we got attorneys over here, you got mailmen over here. You contract these people. That's what trustees do. That's how you build. You contract the different people and build your wealth in that manner. We don't need none of this. If people knew whatever you studied, would you rather be able to have 10,000 different disciplines or study one thing 10,000 times? You can go into court with a Torah, a Tanakh, a Bible, a Quran, a Circle 7 Quran. If they can't mess with your consciousness, period.
Right. Period.
Your
Right.
conscience of religion, whatever, it don't matter what you believe in. If you know yourself and know your hierarchy of law, which is the Creator, the Almighty, the never-ending God, we know that He's the only one that can give you authority. This land can't be chopped up and sold to nobody.
For
It's
sure.
everybody.
Right.
But we have to know this stuff when you're interacting with people that has the ability that can take your essence, with one flick of the wrist. We
Right.
know they can kill the body and they can't kill the soul, but we're not ready to leave here yet.
Right.
So meet
Agreed.
your enemy where they are not. Make sure you know
Agreed.
yourself, because if you know yourself and you know your enemy, the battle is won for sure. But you can't know yourself and not know the enemy, or you can't know the enemy and not know yourself.
Agreed.
Everything works in threes. Polarity,
For sure.
whatever you believe in. Just dissect what you believe in and get that down, and it'll make it way more easy. Can't nobody tell you nothing. You ain't supposed to bow to no man. Let your yay be yay and your nay be nay. Period.
Right.
So that's $1,000 grand right there, and I just want people to take the concepts like what you just said, like a little bit deeper, because a lot of times we waive our responsibilities, and with those responsibilities being waived, we relinquish a lot of our own divine powers, because we say, what I'm saying, as far as the law, the laws of the land, the law that God provided, and our Creator and stuff like that. At the same exact time, the person that you see in the mirror also reflects God.
Absolutely.
So, which means
God body.
we have the power to whatever we write and encode inside of our family Bibles. That's our covenant now.
Right.
That's our law. That's our biblical terms. That's
Right.
our religion. And it states in their words, no government or state can intervene with one's religious beliefs and practices.
Period.
So what if we start going into the courthouse with our family Bibles, with all of our doctrine?
Exactly.
Because they have to fall upon the God. And we are gods. We are gods and goddess. They took an oath to that.
So even what you just said, my next step is to put something like that on the public record, my law.
Yes.
Do it. That's the declaration. That's all it
coming.
is.
Yeah, that's coming sometime down.
I got one on the county recorder. I told them where my law derives from, period. So when it comes to that, I'll bring that in court if I need it. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, you got to declare. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God. Everything is a word. And we know that's operation, and you speak it into existence. So we know.
It's all written.
Hey, I've heard some stories, like people, like, when you create your trust, you can have a glossary, like, certain words that you specify within your trust can have a certain meaning. And I've actually heard of people referring to themselves as God. Like, it would say in the glossary, when you see the word God, it is, addressing this person right here. That's who this is in this trust right here. So
you have to do that for legal purposes, because when you're dealing with the government, you have to tell them what you're talking about, give them a word, then you have to tell them where that word derives from, or they can assume to use that in any manner that they want. They can do any law. So you got to tell them, this is out of Bouvier's, this is out of Thomas.
Right, because that's they do the same thing with us, but they'll like, we have to dig for what their definitions are.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that's done on the legal notice and demands, I think. Yeah, I got that.
Yeah.
That's all. Yeah, in God we trust.
All of my main filings, I'm putting all that stuff into a family Bible. I'm putting everybody, the whole family up under that covenant.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So now, eventually, when I start walking in court, I'm walking there with a big old and just like on some whole other stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, because that's ultimately that's what the power resonates there. Because at the end of the day, we know what they fall under. So when we know what they fall up under, all we gotta do is level up.
Yeah.
Exactly. I seen a dude do that.
That's what it's about. It's all about living life above the clouds. If you don't live life above the clouds, you're vulnerable to get rained on.
Yep. Ain't that Heru? Ain't that Heru, the Falcon? Fly
Yeah.
above the weather?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Above the clouds.
I don't mean to sidetrack, but I remember you was talking about stamping stuff, and I was just wondering, do people know how much stamps are actually cost?
I know they don't cost that much.
They can get
Yeah, they don't
expensive.
cost that much.
3 cents, baby.
Oh, you talking about postage stamps?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah,
All
don't
right.
cost that much.
Because people, I know people's paying 50 cents still, and I'm like, what are you doing?
That practice thing they was cutting down on. I got another group I was messing with, Ann Smith them. They was on that it's I forgot what they called it, the practice deal where they put that law on there and
Or the free postage?
yeah, they can't charge them for the postage. You just get a
Yeah,
receipt.
3 cents is free to me.
No,
tax A per Q.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that 3 cents is the original. That's the old school, ain't it? Because I heard about that. They couldn't really change the original price of
Well, that's for the nationals.
Yeah.
You have the post office and what is it? Postal service.
Yeah, exactly.
You got the real and the fictitious. You know, which one of you?
I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm real lazy with stuff like that.
Yeah. I actually used the tax A per Q before.
Get my stuff out and get it there. Like, I don't got
Hey, but I'm gonna send you that book since we talking about that, Hellraiser. You know, I'm gonna send you that book. I got one to what's the name, but I got you. I end up for dangling. I went to like 4 different ones. I had them get a stock in each of them because I've been going there so much. I done got cool with everybody, you know. So I done got them at like 4 different locations.
Right back.
Mm-hmm.
Think that address.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you say you're lazy with the stamps, but when you go and you get 20 stamps and it's like $10 or $20, and then I get 10, it's like $2 or a dollar.
You know what? I don't buy a lot of stamps. I just I do. It's either gonna be some registered mail or certified mail.
Yeah, I do that too, but you know, just for
Only
like
time I deal with
regular
stamps,
shit.
like for my injunction, I got stamps on that. Certain things, certain documents I use, I'm like I deal with the dollar stamps and the global stamps. The global stamps are international. So so my injunction is dealing in international law. So I use the circle global stamp. So I do it for that. I don't have time. I need somebody to give me that. Just give me to do that for me.
I feel you. Yeah.
Because it takes so much energy for me to get to the post office and send stuff out. It's ridiculous. If you watch me, you're like, dude, what's taking so long? I'm like, I don't know. It takes so much. It takes like a half a day for me to go to the post office.
It's meticulous. It's meticulous.
I dread it.
Yeah. I feel you. Just the little stuff. You like, let me handle this big knowledge. I need somebody to do this little stuff, man.
I swear.
Sure.
But yeah, every penny do count though. You know?
Yeah,
I really don't like paying for nothing, but you know, at the end of the day, you know, if $20 registered mail gonna eliminate a $20,000 debt, then you can.
Yeah, you got to do it for that stuff, but I mean like regular little shitty bills and stuff like that.
I don't really deal with that. I just don't deal with it. It's like
I ain't get there yet.
I don't know. I don't even know what that is. It's like I just choose who I choose to do business with, and I just go into the contract how I need to go into it. It's like I'll pay you for the amount of time I feel like I'm gonna pay you for until I get around to do what I need to do, and you disappear, and that's it. You know, it's like I spend very little time with bills. Whatever gets paid is gonna get paid. You know what I'm saying? That's it. You know. Other than that, I just try to separate. I'm a process organizer. I'm trying to organize different processes with individual situations and things. So I'm just digging into stuff like that. It's hard for me just to deal. I don't deal with a lot of my personal stuff, so I got to keep my stuff at a minimum. So it's like I'm real strict on what I do and what I don't do. You know, but.
Yeah, you're working with the masses, so I mean I understand. But for me, I'm just dealing with my family. That's it. So
yeah,
those small things are small wins for me right now. Plus registered shit, I gotta send it out to them too anyway.
Definitely. All right. So y'all got any other questions, comments? About to start coming to a closing.
Yeah, I'm about to get out of here too, my bro. I appreciate.
I gotta watch The Matrix tonight. So.
Sir.
Yeah, good movie, man.
Yeah, I after reading that, reading about it, that book, Hellraiser, that word magic book, man, that boy ain't no joke.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah, I got it. I put it right on my Kindle. When you posted it, I went straight. I said, "What's this?" Then I went and looked up Hao Chang and all the stuff he got. He got seminars and webinars up on his site. Yeah, man, that's serious, man.
Hey, people think I be posting stuff. I say stuff real modestly. It's
Yeah.
like, I'm only gonna say something that I'm on. Like that it's like that means something to.
Yeah.
It's a piece of the puzzle.
Yeah.
Adults, it's like adults don't receive information correctly or well if it doesn't seem complicated. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If it's not complicated, it can't be powerful or it can't be you know what I'm saying? Like the solution to most of our problems are very simple.
Very simple. And there's a lot of times.
That's guaranteed. The solution to all the problems in the world is very simple. It's all about getting to directly to the root of the problem, though. So depending on how close you are to the root of the problem, determines how much you got to work to cure the problem.
Exactly.
That's guaranteed.
Exactly.
That's a fact.
I went straight to, man, that thing had me up to about 4 or 5 in the morning, man. I was on that thing.
Hey, it's another book too. I'm about to order it right now. Look, when you look up this book on Amazon, this is funny. This is another manipulation joint. So it's called hold on. They got it listed as like $1,500 on Amazon.
What?
It's like a small pamphlet. It's called one of my metaphysics mentors. It's called Short Description of Gods, Goddess, and Ritual of Objects.
Yeah.
How much for the pamphlet?
Yeah, is it I'll have to look that up.
But check it out. If you dig deep into it, you can find it. So look at this. Damn, can y'all see that? Damn, I got it. So it's on Amazon for $1,198, right? But I'm gonna get it for $10.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, if you get a chance, post that cover. I'll find it. Yeah, I'll find it
or just get the ISBN number.
Yeah, the ISBN. Yep. Yeah, because I was going through some of those even the seminars that was based off the word magic. Look, very interesting, man.
Nah, see, once we get the ground covered,
yeah,
it's just like, you know, when we pave the ground and stuff. Once we get that, the foundation that smooth, just like we want it. Now it's time to start levitating. It's like as much paperwork I've done personally and still dig through it, the power doesn't lies far away from the paperwork. Means nothing at the same time. It means nothing. It's absolutely nothing. Whoever's stuck in paperwork is gonna lose and gonna fall. Is gonna hit a roadblock at some point if they're not tapping into their psyche.
Yeah.
They're not typing on the higher dimension.
Exactly.
It's guaranteed.
Yeah.
So once you get that path laid, the foundations, and you understand the paperwork, you graduate. I don't know too many people that graduate 8th grade in high school that's gonna come back to 8th grade for entertainment purposes because they think they missed something. Or keep doing the same thing they was doing in 8th grade. I don't think start doing adult activities. You know, so I'm only dealing in magic now. I entertain stuff, you know, process stuff like that, but I'm using the magic to draw these processes to me and to help us better protect the processes that we're dealing with on the surface level. But the paperwork means nothing.
Yeah. Because they use the magic to manipulate us in the first place. So, you know, it's like, and like my man said, it's you tapping back into your source, your spiritual, you tapping back into you. you know, that your natural being, you know what I mean? And that's what, you know, what's important. You tapping into you, man. And, but, you know, like I said, it ain't for everybody. Everybody ain't gonna get it. But, you know, you hear that sparked me though when I seen that, because I knew the whole thing about the anagrams and the gematria and all that, how they use, but it was basically explained in a simple way to where a kid could get it. I can give it to my 4-year-old. They can understand this and unlock themselves at an early age. Like, oh, okay, this what this mean. Okay, this how these certain words they use to manipulate it. They use it in the court system. They use it. It's everywhere. It's all around. It's in the movies, commercials, everything. So that was definitely a good find right there. I jumped on that one. I said, "Oh, bro, on some other shit right here. Let me see what this."
Magic. Either we gonna be the musicians or they gonna be the musicians. Which one you want to play?
Yep.
So when you guys talk about magic, what is this? Is this a book or is this some inside stuff that can't be?
Yeah, it's a book. It just talk about the. It's called Word Magic. The meanings of. It taps into everything with what we talk about the court system, how the court system is set up. It's a game. They're actors.
What's the title again? Can you?
We're all actors if you participate.
Yeah, if you participate, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's called. I got it right here.
The word person means actor in a mask.
Yep. It's called Word Magic: The Powers and Occult Definitions of Words. The author is named Paul Chang.
It's called Word Magic.
Yep, Word Magic.
Here you go, right there.
The powers and occult definitions of words.
Now,
yep, there it go, right there. Yep.
Now you want to know what an ignorant person told me when I posted this? They say it was like, "Hi, that's written by an Oriental man." I say, this is what I did. I say, "Ha, you dumb as hell." It's like, because that's the only way. That's the only way to describe a person like that, because I can immediately determine if a person is going to reach any type of level of success in this game. Because like you right there, you just told me you know nothing about nothing. You know what I'm saying? On what this thing even revolves around. At all. Because you just expose yourself as being colorblind. I don't care if it was an Oriental man, a yellow man, a purple man, a green man. I don't even care if it was Iron Man, Superman, none of that. Did you get the message?
Exactly.
A lot of people have that problem.
Did you get it?
Where they colorblind. Exactly.
What's the name of the guy? Is that P.A.?
Pao, P-A-O, Chang.
C-H-U-N-G? Or P? All right.
C-H-A-N-G. I'm sorry, C-H-A-N-G.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Yeah, that's a good read, man. I advise anybody especially dealing with this stuff, it's a good read.
Thank you.
It's one of many. It's like it's not just that book. It's just
it's many. I know.
It's understanding that a lot of the answers and keys are overstanding. So this construct is in the magic. You know what I'm saying? So in general, you know, so it's like, so once we start reading these other books, we're able to decode it a lot faster and a lot deeper because we get to the point. You know what I'm saying? It's like we don't have to read all of these different things and just flood ourselves. It's just putting yourself on a vibration where the information damn near falls in your lap. That's what I'm saying. Because nobody on this planet has that much time to read all the books in the world. All on psychology, on the mind, on science, on contract law, on international law, on treason, on literally, who can really be a mastermind in all these different things by studying each individual practice? Impossible. So it's like it's like then when the person does become great at one thing.
All right, here I come.
I'm this and I'm that. It's like you got to know that you're nothing at the same time. You know this, but at the same time, you know you don't know nothing.
Brother. let me get up out of here, man. I didn't mean to cut you off, brother. I gotta get out of here, but I appreciate each and every one of y'all, man. It's definitely been a pleasure. I'll be keeping in touch with you about that too, Hellraiser, about the whole vehicle situation and everything. And just go from there, because I'm definitely gotta utilize some of these things that I have. So, yeah. But yeah, appreciate y'all, man, and definitely once again.
And look, one more thing. About the book. Look, you know what? When you got the right vibration going on, you can ask a question spiritually. Go mop the floor or something, and come back and open up that book, and it'll open up right to the answer, man. That's been my experience.
Yeah.
So I hear you on that.
Yeah. Or when you go to sleep, you wake up and got the answer.
Yep.
Your mind didn't shut off because you went to sleep. The subconscious don't shut off because you go to sleep. It's still going. It's still calculating.
Yep.
It's still calculating.
Yeah. Ooh, even them nights when I was dreaming about Michael Jordan, y'all.
Oh, God.
Oh, okay.
You got a Michael Jordan fantasy?
Ooh, back in the day, yes, Chad.
He came by today. It's right now too. Back in the day, right now he's at the door.
Right.
Exactly.
All right, y'all. I said I was only gonna be on for 2 hours. I always tell that lie to myself.
Well, thank y'all.
Appreciate your time.
Hold on. All right, peace, family. I'll let y'all.
All right, peace.
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 Peace out.